This is a Headgum podcast.
On February 26th, 2025, Santa Fe authorities announced the discoveries of the bodies of actor Gene Hackman and his wife, pianist Betsy Arakawa. The horrific news, ready-made for true crime obsessives with grisly terms like mummification, shocked the American public, and among the reactions included a wave of tributes for Hackman, a beloved character star turned recluse in retirement. With roles in hit films like The Conversation, Hoosiers, Crimson Tide, and The Royal Tenenbaums, as well as a turn as Lex Luthor in the Christopher Reeves Superman franchise, and an Oscar win as the villainous Sheriff Little Bill Daggett in Clint Eastwood's anti-Western Unforgiven, Hackman's presence elevated each of his movies. But his signature performance was in the 1971 William Friedkin film The French Connection, where among its 5 Oscar wins was a Best Actor statue for Hackman as Detective Jimmy Popeye Doyle. Both a critical and commercial smash, the character of Popeye Doyle was so well known in pop culture that when Al Copeland opened his fried chicken chain down in Bayou in 1972, he named it for Hackman's hard-boiled cop. Over the next 5 decades, as Popeye Doyle receded in the collective consciousness, the breaded bird broker expanded globally, buoyed by the introduction of a Chick-fil-A killer sandwich in 2019. In April 2025, just weeks after Morgan Freeman offered a touching tribute to Hackman at the Academy Awards, the fried chicken chain named for his character launched a pickle menu featuring pickle-glazed wings, tendies, and sandos, as well as fried pickles, and lemonade. And speaking of food, Hackman's only on-camera credit since his final film role, 2004's Welcome to Mooseport, was a surprise cameo on an episode of Guy Fieri's Diners, Drive-Ins, and Dives, when he just happened to be dining at a Santa Fe restaurant, Harry's Roadhouse, while cameras were rolling. While enjoying breakfast at the counter, a happily retired Hackman told Fieri his favorite feature of the eatery. Quote, "Nobody pays me attention, you know. It's great. Rest in power, Popeye Doyle." This week on Doughboys, we return, once again, to Popeyes for the Popeyes Pickle Menu.
It's the Doughboys!
Welcome to Doughboys, the podcast about chain restaurants. I'm Tiger Weiger, along with my co-host, Dijon Wayne Gacy, the Spoon Man Mike Mitchell.
Dijon Wayne Gacy.
Off of John Wayne Gacy.
Off of
Dijon Wayne
John
Gacy.
Wayne Gacy.
I should have leaned the Dijon Wayne Gacy.
The French
Dijon
clown,
Wayne Gacy.
John Wayne Gacy.
Been a big fan for years. Saw you live in Chicago a couple of years ago, and it was a blast. Thank you for the endless hours of entertainment. Spencer roasts at birdfuck.com.
I was clowning last night, and there is a big difference between French clowns and American clowns, right, Amelia? You're nodding along.
Amelia's nodding along.
That is correct.
Yeah.
Wait, you were clowning last night? You just said that so casually.
Yeah, I was clowning last night. I did a clowning show last night. It's the truth. Amelia knows.
What was the show?
Stand up and clown.
Yeah.
Okay, stand up. But you say you were clowning.
Chad
What does that
Damiani.
mean exactly? Is it like an improv show, but you're doing like, you're not being verbal? What are you doing exactly?
You take it from here, Amelia.
Yeah, explain this nonsense
I
to me.
I don't even know how to describe clowning still. But Chad Damiani, one of the LA clowns, throws a
Very funny guy.
Very
We gotta have
funny
him on the
guy.
show at some point. He's a great guy.
We gotta. Yeah, he throws clowning shows. It's kind of
improv-y.
It's improv-y. It's basically looking as foolish as possible on stage, failing in front of audiences, being dumb. Mitch didn't have to do anything.
Yeah, that's what I was gonna say.
Oh, I'm glad I had you set this up.
Sounds like a Doughboys podcast. What makes it specifically clowning as opposed to improv? Like, are you doing more like whoa, like that kind of shit? Like, what's going on?
There is a little sound and movement stuff
Okay,
going
so
on.
that-
I mean,
okay,
like,
so that I can
like
kinda
no
get.
talking stuff. It's like there's some physical.
So it's just mime.
physicality. Not
Got
all
it.
of it is.
so
though.
they'll give you a what's it called? Like a
A
little
suggestion?
prompt.
A
Thank
prompt,
you.
okay.
Prompt, not a suggestion. A
Okay.
prompt.
All right.
And it'll be like the soup's down, instead of soup's up. Soup's down.
Okay.
So then, what the fuck are you gonna do with that? There you
Yeah.
go. That's how you do that
Okay.
sort of thing. Except you're not supposed to make any noises. I think you can go like. Burp, burp. I think you can do that. You're not supposed to talk.
But then
during
does that turn into an improv scene where with dialogue?
No, there's no dialogue.
The whole show, there's no dialogue.
I mean, like he talks to you.
Okay.
He like kind of directs you, right? Like
He's
he'll
the
be
clown
like,
boss.
yeah, he'll be like, do it bigger or do it less or
Hey, you know what?
whatever.
You know who'd be great?
Yeah.
Your dad. Clown ass dad.
How dare you?
Fucking clown ass dad.
Mitch, I have my
dad.
own.
We text all the time.
Dad's a lovely man.
He's a great man.
Mitch, I have my own business that I wanted to get to before we introduce our guest. Earlier this year, I was dealing with this actually in the last part of last year. I was dealing with jaw pain that was like quite debilitating and was like made it really hard for me to eat and to talk, which are what the core elements of this show.
Your jaw during an episode popped. It would
pop. I mean, it still pops sometimes, but it's less of an
very
issue.
snake-like. It would. You'd have an apple and it would pop open and you would just kind of swallow the apple whole.
I can naturally kind of unhinge my jaw. I mean, anyway. So we had a Snoopy Blah in our Discord server, the Discord, recommended me looking out for an orofacial pain specialist. I found one who I talked about earlier this year, Dr. Rich Hershinger, who helped me out a lot. Things are a lot better pain wise. Popping is a lot better. He also had invented a jaw stretching device called the Gentle Jaw, which I brought into the studio, and then I demonstrated for you, and you tried it out.
Yeah, you gave me the smaller one.
That's right.
Because the Wags is in the 1 percentile.
I'm in the top 1% of mouth sizes I've learned.
Yeah, and you're in the top 1% of a lot of things.
Okay. Anyway, he emailed me this past weekend, Dr. Hershinger, and said the following: Nick, an orofacial pain resident in Minnesota informed me you talked about the Gentle Jaw on your podcast. It was fun to watch, especially since your colleague, meaning you, used the Gentle Jaw backward. He put the large end in first, and he sent along this picture attached.
A doctor sent this photo? Well, all right, you know what? You're right, Amelia. I am a fucking clown idiot. Sucks that that's the truth.
Yeah.
It's a good pick.
I'm tired as hell today, Wags. Chankton is coming. Chankton's on the way here.
I love it.
And
am I going to get to see him?
Chankton and Angelica, his lovely wife. And maybe, yes. I could tell him to come by the studio.
Okay.
He's leaving Thursday, and my goddaughter, Emmy.
Wow.
So we're going.
Does he want his goddaughter docs on the podcast?
We'll bleep it if we have to.
Name.
Yeah. But we can bleep it out. It's fine. But they're staying at my house. So I clowned last night. I got home. And then I had a radio interview for on 98.5 in Boston this morning.
Very cool.
Yeah. Toucher and Hardy.
Wow.
It was great. It was fun. They were like, "What is your show about?" And he's like, "Do you like doing the show in Boston?" That's what he asked me. And I was like, "No, it sucks." Like the Boston people will be like, "You weren't funny." Like all my friends will be like harder on the show.
Yeah, sure.
And then I was like, and also like I'll like talk about masturbating and then look in the crowd and see my mom straight faced in the audience. And when I was done, my mom called and she was like, "That was a good interview." And it was this awkward thing where I was like, "Oh, I shouldn't have said the thing about masturbating and you being straight faced." Like it's all I could think about. And it's truly the only time I've ever had an awkward thing from this show with my mom where I was like thinking about, it was in it. It sucked, but it was great. Adolfo, as one of the guys who calls into that show, and he hooked us up. And he's going to come on. He's coming on our show.
Ah, how about that?
Yeah. It was fun.
Yeah.
Okay, so we booked 2 guests so far based off of shows you've recently done.
Look, yes, yeah.
Okay.
And we're going to book a lot more. I'm going to meet people. I'm going to tell them, come on the podcast. And you know what? Today we're lucky. We met this guy.
100%.
Yeah.
One of the podcast greats. Mitch, you have a drop to play, and then I can introduce.
I'm going to hit him with a drop.
Landman. That's what it is. Landman.
I am Landman.
It does seem like a later Megaman kind of bad guy. The Landman.
I've come to kill you with my land.
It'd be cool though. I bet the result would be that you could shoot out little platforms you can jump on.
Oh yeah, like you make little because he creates land.
He makes little land masses.
Mitch, that is pretty great.
Thank you. I hate hearing our podcast. guest.
So-
I like hate hearing snippets of it.
That track is
We
from...
shouldn't have to hear it, though.
It's true. That track is from Megaman 2. I'm trying to place it specifically. I think it's maybe Metal Man. Maybe the email will say.
All right. Let's see here. Hey, Doughboys and Jamelia Donahue. Here's a little drop I made with a recent discussion of the new Megaman villain, Landman, on the episode with Matt Singer. Hope you enjoy. Nope, it does not. Best Joe. I shouldn't say his last name, should I? He wrote it.
I don't know if he wrote it out. He probably can.
Best Joe Bastion.
Wow,
Well,
thanks, Joe.
Doxing everybody today.
Drops at birdfuck.com.
I'm sorry that there's no look. I gotta say this.
Yeah.
I realized last night a thing about Mission Impossible, which when this episode comes out, is Mission Impossible done?
We
or
should
no?
be in the thick of Mission Impossible.
I realized that Kittredge sounds a lot like the Matrix, Mr. Anderson. He sounds like that guy he sounds like Hugo Weaving.
Oh yeah, the actors have similar deliveries. I can see that. Yeah.
It just popped in my head, so I was just thinking of that. And also, we recorded an episode yesterday with Lily Sullivan, and she was wearing a very familiar shirt.
Wow, Mitch, what a segue. From the Righteous Gemstones and Deli Boys and CBB World, joining us today, returning to the studio, Tim Baltz. Hi, Tim. Thanks so much for being here.
Hey, thanks for having me.
So a Gatorade shirt, yes, we'll get right to it. You're wearing a Gatorade shirt.
Yes.
We recorded an episode with your lovely wife, Lily Sullivan, also wearing the same shirt. That episode is coming out in the future over on our Patreon feed.
Yes.
Yeah.
She stole the shirt from me at my most vulnerable moment.
Were you shirtless the whole day?
No. Yeah, I got rid of all my shirts. I only own this one. Lots riding on my ability to wear the shirt. Couldn't leave the house. I was. Full disclosure, I was taking a shit.
Okay.
And Lily was leaving the house, and so I hear through the bathroom door. She's like, "Can I borrow one of your shirts?" I'm like, "What?" And she always wants to borrow like the highly sentimental ones or
Sure.
my favorite stuff.
Yeah.
And I'm like, "What? Why are you asking me this now?" She's like, I have to leave right now. And I'm like, "Which shirt?" She's like, "The Gatorade one." I'm like, "I was going to wear that tomorrow on the podcast." And so I'm sitting there. I'm like, I can't get up. I can't go like face to face reason with my wife.
Sure.
So
by the way, oh no, I was just about to ask this question. I know the answer. I was going to say, do you have a bidet? And you do not have a bidet. You used to have a bidet.
we used to have a bidet.
And you're
Yeah, that would have really sped up the process. Go,
Yeah.
Hold on, I'll just bidet myself. Walk it. I'll Donald Duck it out. No pants on, and then we can talk about this. And so finally, I'm like, okay, fine, just wear. Please don't get any makeup on the collar or something like that. I don't know why. It's a white collar, so I guess that's what.
I think that makes sense.
Yeah,
Yes,
makes
of
sense,
course.
right?
Yes.
So then when she got home, I was like, "Oh, how'd it go? I'm glad you wore it. Ha ha ha." And then, "Oh, I think I'm gonna wear it tomorrow anyway. That'll be fun. Oh, how cute. But then we had to put a shirt over her head to take this off so that she didn't get any makeup on the collar. Which I was like, "Can we put a bag over your head?" She's like, "No, women know how to do this. You just put a T-shirt over your head." I'm like, "Oh," and so that was funny. I learned something new from it all.
I didn't know that trick. You must know that trick back there.
Yeah, sometimes if you're doing makeup stuff, I'll wear something like a hoodie or something so you don't even have to pull it up over your head. You can just wear a button up is a common one, so you can just take it off
unzip.
like a jacket.
You're set. Oh wow, how about that?
But yeah, if you just, it's kind of like putting a bag over your head, though. You cover your face and everything, so you can't see anything.
Your neighbor just looking in, seeing you put a bag over your wife's head.
That's my thing. I just put a bag over your head.
It's true. I did the Hey Randy show, live show, and I had a bag put over my head as they thought I was. Which
Probably
we talked about.
Probably had to get a lawn bag. What'd you fit over that noggin?
It was not a lawn bag.
A lawn bag that goes down to your waist. Your arms are popping out here. Oh.
Sadly, I feel like I would fit pretty well. If I just punched my arms through a lawn bag, I would fit me pretty well.
Just be your new look.
That should have been what I did to school every day. Just put a fucking push my head through a lawn bag and put my arms through.
Lawn bag man.
Megaman needs to be rebooted in a different They've done the 2D. I mean, I guess is it just only ever going to be in 2D?
I don't want to get too deep into the Mega Man canon here, unless our
Sure.
guest has an interest in it.
I love Mega Man.
Oh, you do love Mega Man. Okay, let's get into it.
Beating Mega Man 2 is one of the proudest achievements of my life.
Oh my god, I love
Wow.
Mega Man 2 so much.
I also beat Mega Man 2. I was just about to say I didn't, but I did beat. That is the only Mega Man I think I beat.
I felt like it was the hardest. I had Mega Man 4 and maybe Mega Man 10, and I would play other ones.
Mega Man. Or is
Mega
it
Man
Mega
10
Man
was
X?
like the more recent one. Yeah.
X.
Yeah.
That's the one with the Robo Dog, right? That's the Super
Yeah,
Nintendo
so
one.
Mega Man X was the Super Nintendo franchise, and they made a few of them, and then Mega Man 10 they made more recently, and it had like the throwback like 8-bit Famicom NES aesthetic.
So you were Mega Man X.
No, 2. 2 is the one that I played the most.
2 was awesome. I love 2. That's my favorite.
Yeah, I do think Metal Man was the
You think that was the
sound
music?
cue in that.
Oh wow! I hope we're right.
Because that's the one that I went to first every time I played the game, so it stuck in my mind.
Oh right.
Yeah, I'm trying to remember the order. I think you go to because it's you want to go to Flashman. I think you go to Crashman last. That's what I remember the most. I think it's Flashman, Quickman, Metal Man, Woodman. Then you go to Airman. Is it?
We don't have to follow your rules of which robot to face first.
There is an optimized version. There is an optimized way to do it, though.
You do, but Metal Man also gives you a good gun. That's the other thing is that you.
Yeah,
do
Metal
get
Man gives you the saw blade. Yeah, and then you go to there's Heat Man. I forget where Heat Man goes. Heat Man might go before Woodman.
There are some that you can't beat without a specific weapon.
Right,
Sure,
because you use the weapon that you get from the Robot Master, that becomes your ability, and then you can use that to defeat other Robot Masters, sometimes very easily. Sometimes it becomes a trivial thing.
Unproduced Mega Man script written by Jeff Dutton. Remember he wrote that
Great
movie?
script. I do remember.
We were a Mega Man movie at one point.
He did, and it didn't get made.
And it did not get made. It did not get pretty. It's in the junk pile.
Who would you cast as Mega Man? Jim Caviezel?
Caviezel's pretty good. I mean, like, I feel like the unimaginative
I think
casting.
Caviezel's tough to top already.
Caviezel's pretty good. I think the unimaginative casting for like a boyish type, who I'm a fan of his, I think he's good, but we see Chalamet and everything. We're kind of at a Chalamet saturation point. So like, who's the other Chalamet? Who's the other youthful looking guy?
Jacob Elordi.
Jacob Elordi's pretty good.
Jacob Elordi's not bad.
He brings like Chalamet brings this like kind of, mischievous, playful, I'm in my room reading,
Right.
Don't worry about me. And Elordi plays just like a guy who shows up, and I'm no shade.
Yeah.
But like, there's a power to his presence, which is just kind of like, huh?
Yeah.
What, babe? Like that's powerful.
It kind of is like what Mega Man is, which is like Dr. Light invented him, and he's kind of a cipher.
Haley Joel, our
Haley Joel would be great.
I was saying when he was younger, like I think that you need a young kind of youthful innocence kind of thing.
You didn't cast a straight up boy. That's a way to go.
I don't want to see boys in the. No Stranger Things kids.
Yeah.
They're axed. No, I don't want to see a Stranger Thing kid in the movie.
You don't want to see the one that had that prank show?
I do. I want to watch that prank show. But the Spider. I don't love the Spider-Man guy, but I do think it is that sort of vibe. I don't dislike the Spider-Man.
Tom Holland?
Tom Holland. I just think he's in so much stuff.
Mega Man sipping on a Biro. Have you done Biro on the show yet?
We have not done
done
Biro.
Biro.
Hey, Biro's pretty good.
Is it really?
If someone's listening and wants to send me a couple cases of Biro,
I would. What? All right.
I've had them all. They're good.
I gotta be honest. What is Biro?
It's a non-alcoholic beer, but there's like an IPA, a wit, and a lager.
Oh, I'm into it.
Yeah,
if you're big at non-alcoholic,
I would do
beer.
a lot of the athletic brewing these days, but that's also like the one that's like very easy to find at a market. They had athletic brewing at fucking Costco last time I went there.
Wow.
So
Biro's. I mean, I have a feeling that like the U.S. market's going to go pretty hard on it.
Oh, I love it
because it has a lot of options. So.
I spent too much time looking through the Mega Man Wikipedia. Mega Man 11 is the most recent in 2018. Before that, not a proper entry since Mega Man 10 in 2010. So the mainline franchise has really fallen off. I don't know what the move is. I don't know if they just make 12. I mean, 11 was pretty well received.
Mega Man at some point?
They did do that. Those are the Mega Man Legends games back on the PlayStation era. Yeah, they had I think they had 3 of them, 3 Mega Man Legends, maybe just 2, and then they had the Misadventures of Tron Bon, which was like a kind of a spin-off game.
I think the way you do a Mega Man 3D game is, I think you do it like Metroid Prime. I think it's going to be like an action adventure.
Oh, you think first person?
Yeah.
I want to see my little guy. I want to see the Blue Bomber.
Oh shit, you're right. It is
because that's the problem with the
RoboCop
RoboCop game. Is like the RoboCop game is first person. Some people are saying like, "Hey, this is actually one of the better games of last year." Sneakily, you wouldn't think of it with an IP with a licensed game, but I want to see fucking RoboCop. And I understand why they do it, because then you don't have to animate the player character, and that's so labor intensive. You just see it from their first person perspective. But I don't want to be in RoboCop's HUD. Like, I want to see RoboCop walking around.
Yeah.
That's part of what's fun about it.
I want to see RoboCop walking around.
Yeah.
I agree with you here, Wags. Are you still a gamer or no?
I like retro games.
Okay.
Yeah, sure.
Yeah. So if I'm playing on Switch, it's kind of corny, but I like sports games. I like racing games.
Sure.
Hey, nothing wrong with that.
But I go back to, I have a Delta simulator on my phone.
Oh, wow.
That's dangerous.
Delta Simulator.
Yeah, do you not have that?
No, is it
you
like
you can get almost any game on a Delta simulator, and it takes up very little space on your phone. So if I'm traveling or something, I'll play Dr. Mario. I'll play I have a bunch of Super Nintendo and NES games.
Can I quickly tell you what I thought it was? I thought it was like a Delta flight simulator where you're like the guy like goes and sits in a Delta seat and then it's just on the plane, I guess. I thought that's what it was.
Yeah, it's first person. It's first person, just like going through the airport process. And I'm on a plane and I'm going through TSA security on the phone. I'm like, oh, nice. Oh, shit, I picked the wrong line.
I weirdly could see a game where you just sit on a commercial flight and you don't have to actually pilot it as being kind of soothing.
Yeah.
Like, because it's just like I have the feeling of like I got nothing to do. I'm just kind of captive, but without actually being captive, which gives me claustrophobia in real life.
Yeah.
I've not messed around with the phone.
It would be fun to like tap the button to like nudge the person who's like laying on you, and you know what I'm saying?
Oh, sure.
Like the middle seat, like that's fun. It's like fat guy in the middle seat and your health goes down or something. You know what I'm saying?
Goes down.
I mean, I'm trying to gamify it. I don't know how to.
Your friendship goes up.
Your friendship goes up.
How do you respond? You know, and it's like, hey, you got a soft shoulder. You know, get the fuck away from me, dude. Like,
I've been the big guy taking a middle seat, and I've seen people not be thrilled, but they slim the look. We're about to travel.
We're about to travel as of this recording. It gets worse every fucking year. There's just like everything that used to be taken as a given is now there's a paid up charge for. It's just It's just the erosion of absolutely everything. And it's just it's a bummer. And then especially if you're a larger man.
Sure.
And I'm not the biggest guy, but you know I'm like 6'1".
Pretty fucking big.
I'm like 6'1".
If you're sitting next to me on the airplane, I'm like, fuck. I would not be happy with you.
Oh yeah, your shoulder rubs up against it. I'm choosing the option that says like, sir, you're a unit.
Start sucking you off.
Whoa. Oh my God. Unlocked blowjob.
Friendship meters through the roof.
Hey.
What's this game about?
Is there a Mile High part of this game? Like you go to the bathroom with them or something?
I guess so, yeah. I guess there had to be.
Yeah, like as he's going down on you, you're like, would you like to go to the bathroom?
Only counts if we're in the lavatory. What?
If I saw you getting on a plane, I guess I wouldn't worry about your size first. I think I'd worry about a few other things before.
You see the buzz cut. Plane's not making its destination.
He has no bags.
There's no bags in a flight training manual. What's going on? I think it sucks to travel. It's a bummer. Mitch, I feel for you because, like, you know, as a larger guy, it's like you.
I just do first class almost all the time.
But
that's my solver on it, which is thousands of dollars.
That's
you have
the
to spend.
tax you have to pay, and
yeah.
you're lucky that you have the ability to do that because some other people who are of size can't afford it.
I did it forever.
Yeah,
when I shot Tomorrow War and I went to which by the way I know that you were just in Atlanta. We should right. You were
Charleston.
Charleston. That's where that's where Doughboys was.
No, that was no Doughboys shot in Chicago.
Shit.
Gemstones was Charleston.
Gemstones.
So we would connect through Atlanta.
So I fucked this up, but that's okay.
Yeah, you really couldn't be more wrong there. Every element.
He connected through Atlanta.
Yeah. You're right.
Fuck yeah! Thank God you brought this up. Atlanta Airport is huge.
Sucks.
It sucks. There's Atlanta Hawks fan experience.
There's a Bojangles. Nice. There is a Bojangles there, which is have we ever officially? We did. We did
Bojangles when we were in Nashville. And I don't feel like we got the proper experience. But Bojangles is coming to LA. We're talking about a fried chicken chain today, but Bojangles, they're supposed to open 5 outlets within next year.
When I flew to Atlanta for Tomorrow War, they just flew, they fly you first class. So and they just were flying us all the time. And then I got platinum, whatever it was. I got like platinum medallion or whatever. And then I was just like, I'm just going to use this forever. And I got a Delta card. And now I just do first class. But it is expensive and sucks.
Yeah, it sucks.
But it's also that price is better than me being like, sorry. Like, I don't want to, that sucks way worse to have to like apologize for being a big guy to some poor person who sits next to you.
Everything's a nightmare. And the only way to make yourself less miserable is to spend a considerable amount of money. And that's just how society is structured right now. It fucking sucks. It's horrible.
It sucks. Anyways, we're starting this episode on a high note.
No, but we were talking, you mentioned playing sports games. You mentioned going to Chicago, bouncing all over the place. I know you're wearing a Spurs hat now, but I know you're also a fan of your Chicago Bulls.
Oh yeah.
How do you feel? How do you feel about the Bulls? Obviously, they're out of the postseason at this point, but
well, I mean, I'm glad that we offloaded Levine and DeRozan. I took heat years ago I was on like some NBA Sirius XM podcast or show or whatever, and I'm like, yeah, I don't think Levine's like a number one guy, and they're like, whoa, that's so like you can't say that. I'm like, no, I can. He wasn't. I'm vindicated.
Yeah.
I loved DeRozan. It was sad to see him go, but he's old.
Yeah.
Vucevic, we got to get rid of. This guy Matas Buzelis, who grew up in like the suburbs. It's kind of fun to have him on the team.
Yeah. He's like a fun player.
As long as the last, whatever few weeks of the game after of the season after that trade, they had an identity and they were running and they were beating teams that they hadn't beaten all season, that they hadn't beaten in a few years. You're like, okay, all that city wants is a team with an identity that plays hard. Even if they're getting, blown out every once in a while, they don't play good defense. There was like a mid-2000s Bulls team era with Ben Gordon and Kirk Heinrich.
Oh, right.
They had
I like that era.
Hard identity.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
And they would get maybe no higher than the 6th seed, but you're like, it's so fun to root for them because they can play spoiler and they know it. We don't have any illusions about this team, but they have an identity, and so you care about the identity. And
I liked those two specifically quite a bit. Yeah.
For the last few years, 3-4 years, like they just didn't have an identity.
Yeah.
And we're playing for the 9 or 10 seed. That's humiliating.
Yeah. Chicago is in. You guys need to have a good sports team. It's been far too long, and the Bears or the Bulls need to get good.
Yeah.
What's crazy about the Bulls, because the fandom is still so rabid there, and I learned this recently that they have led the NBA in attendance the past 4 seasons.
Wow.
Like they're still just like
that's crazy.
Despite that team basically being a 500 team that's always in the play-in tournament, they're still consistently packing that house.
Yeah.
Wild.
Yeah, that's crazy. It's a fun experience to go there. United Center is really fun.
I gotta go.
I know. I'd love to go.
Are you guys going through Chicago on tour?
We're not, unfortunately. I love Chicago when we visited in the past, but you did get to spend some time there while you were working, which must be nice because you're from the area.
Yeah, Doughboys. It was great. We saw a lot of friends and family. I was there for 6 or 8 weeks.
Oh my God.
It was
what a dream.
Yeah, it was February. So,
yeah, sure.
But I don't always get a chance to go back a bunch of times throughout the year. So that was great. It was the first time that I'd filmed there since we filmed Shrink back in 2016.
Oh, wow.
And a bunch of crew were working on Doughboys. And I hadn't seen them in, 8 or 9 years. So that was really special.
That's crazy.
To come back. Because when we filmed that back in 2016, the Dick Wolf NBC shows had only been on for a few years. And so prior to the Dick Wolf shows, there was maybe one A-list crew, maybe 1.5 in Chicago. And they would work on the Vince Vaughn summer movie, or something like that. But that kind of was the
By the way,
extent.
that's the exact title, the Vince Vaughn summer movie.
Yeah, exactly. Starring like sitcom woman. And then the Dick Wolf shows came and they started to expand, and then they got a CineSpace, studio lot down there. And so 7 or 8 shows are going at a time. So all of a sudden you have 7 or 8 A-list crews that are working there. And when Shrink came in, there were probably, 3 or 4 shows. And those shows have been going long enough that we siphoned all of their, not department heads, but like the second in command. And they basically went to their bosses and they said, it's a 2-month shoot. Let me leave for 2 months or I quit. Because the Dick Wolf shows are like kind of a grind. They're like 10 months out of the year. And they're like, okay, cool. So everyone on our crew was so happy to be there. They loved the tone of the show. They loved the pace at which we were going. They were like, it was just a welcome environment for them. So we all had a great time, and then we filmed really fast. It was over in a flash. And to have that experience, and then, we got a second season, and then the entire platform goes under. So
Yeah, what a
there was
bummer.
all this promise, and then it gets dashed. And at the time it was heartbreaking. Now I just see it as this anomaly. Like, we kind of beat the system and got a season of a show out there,
Sure.
which most people can't say that. So I'm very grateful.
Shrink, a casualty of CISO falling apart. Can people watch Shrink these days?
Yeah, it's on Peacock.
Oh, there you go.
Yeah.
People should check it out.
Yeah, it's great. I do think that it kind of stands the test of time. And our main EP, Patrick Daly, when we were making it, he's like, look, there are no guarantees. Go as hard as you can on this. Make the best possible show. Make it an ending that has like a cliffhanger that we're really proud of. So that if this is it, then we can walk away and we're happy about it. And we did that. Like by the skin of our teeth, literally, because we improvised probably like 30% of it in these like patient sessions. And Abominable was our production company, and Amelia was working there. She actually worked on Shrink. And when we came back, we were cutting together all the improv that we had to like slot into these montages in the script. We have basically like 6 empty pages per script that the network made us put like strike-throughs and like dummy scenes in because they were nervous by blank pages. But essentially they were blank pages that we would account for by improvising and then putting them into montages.
Man, writing those fake blank pages, I would have crushed that. Some writing that'll never be on TV. Hell yeah. I'm in.
I can't operate on you, doctor. I'm a doctor. We'll operate on each other. You're 69 operating on each other. So we came back and we cut all the improv together. And after we'd finished cutting everything that fit into these montages, that fit into all 8 episodes, we were left with about less than 90 seconds of usable material from the improv. And when we figured that out, that was when the Abominable people were like, we didn't want to tell you how risky we thought it was. We thought there's no fucking way you're going to come back with enough material to fill all these things.
Yeah.
Like, we made it by 90 seconds. So it was a really it's just this kind of weird magical anomaly that I don't, hopefully would love to sell another show and get to make it. But
yeah, sure.
We all know that's really tough.
It'll happen again. Yeah.
It's rad that it exists.
Yeah.
But to get to like see those people again, and they're 8 years further along in their career, and some of them department heading on Deli Boys.
Right.
And that was really meaningful.
That's cool.
That's awesome.
Really, it's rare that you get that.
Yeah.
Do you have by the way, what did you think of Amelia when she was working on the show?
So supportive.
Yeah.
Incredibly supportive.
But also, were you like, this person's a freak? Did you feel that way at all?
I do remember clocking your Instagram handle.
Skid mark.
Yeah. And I was like, okay, all right, this is a swing. There's more to this person than I thought. She's not just very supportive and nice. There's something underneath there. Yeah.
She told us when we interviewed Amelia for this job.
Yes.
She was like, I have an Instagram handle, but it's like weird. And maybe you didn't tell us in that first interview.
I think you did.
I think I did.
You
pretty
thought
sure.
about not. You were like, I don't know. I think I'm going to change it soon. And then you're like, I guess it's Skid Mark 4. Like, you almost did it.
Yeah, that's what you changed it to?
No, it was always Skid Mark.
I think she was trying to avoid telling us, saying, like, I'm going to change it. And
there's four other Skid Marks.
Yeah.
Still, you're pretty early adopter.
Yeah, pretty early.
To get it Skid Mark 4.
Yeah,
I think I claimed it in like 2015, 2014, I want to say.
Okay. Wow.
Savvy.
Yeah, that was my memory of it.
What you were saying,
I was like, there's POV here.
You could go back in time and claim Skid Mark 4, man. I would love any of the Skid Mark handles. Why?
Where are we going back to? So we're going back to like the 1910s. We kill baby Hitler. No, I'm getting 13. I'm getting Skid Mark 1.
Skid Mark 1 would be a steal.
But I loved working on Shrink. That's what I was gonna say. I got to see all the raw footage. I had to transcribe some of those interviews.
That's right. Yeah.
But it was a blast to work on, and I loved all the performances and the improv, and I was very proud of having to been a small part of it.
I just saw Nick Gallucci, one of the editors.
Oh, really?
Yeah, we just caught up for the first time in years, and that was really meaningful too, because we were nobodies to like everybody, right? I had like 4,000 Instagram followers, and they were all Chicago people. So when we made the show, I'm not surprised that it didn't do numbers, but it's odd to have a show that quality-wise we felt accomplished everything.
Yeah, sure.
And then it enters the marketplace, and you're like, oh wow, there are significant roadblocks and obstacles to its success.
Mhm.
There was no money for PR or marketing, and so you couldn't call it. CISO was done calling in favors because we were like the 6th original that came out. And
CISO was a tough thing to get around.
The name,
of course. Yeah,
the font, the colors of the fucking font, like all of it was DOA stuff,
I essentially ran a show on CISO, which is insane for me to even say. The Hidden America Wags.
Oh, right.
Yeah, which Wags hooked me up with. I just want to quickly say, Amelia said all this nice stuff about you and your show, and then when she started the episode off, she said I was a clown, basically.
Yeah, it's
by comparison, she's being very kind.
Tim, what you were saying about like you worked with, I was trying to bring up the CISO logo here.
There we
go. There's that old guy.
Oh man,
there's that classic logo.
Do you know a show that did numbers?
What
numbers? Num3ers.
Yeah.
Numbers does.
Have you had the Crumb on yet?
We have not had
Chrome on.
I met Crumb once. He was the first celebrity to play the Second City improv set when I was on ETC stage.
Wow.
Yeah. No. He refused to play.
Crumb.
We were begging the Crumb. We're like, please. And he's like, no, absolutely not.
Wow.
I called him Chrome, which doesn't make sense, but sounds cool. He just in the
he's
Chris
done Blank
Nolan.
Check, yeah.
Oh no, the Christopher Nolan.
Oh yeah,
movie.
Oppenheimer.
He's
an
Oppenheimer. He's popping all over.
He's a legend.
He is. He's doing very well for himself. Good for. We'll get the Crumb on at some point.
Love to get the Crumb. But no, Tim, what you were saying a moment ago about like you work with people on Shrink, and then you'd run into them, 8-9 years later, and you're working with them on Deli Boys, and it's just seeing where they are in their lives. It's like we have half of that experience that you're describing working with Amelia back in the day, and we work and talking about how supportive she was, and we work with her now, and all she does is dunk all over both of us.
Yes.
Well, look, she's in the dunker spot.
It's true, yeah.
Speaking of dunks, we got to go to Chicago, not in the wintertime, but I think when we tour there, we usually we went one time in the summer, but we did go in the wintertime. We got to go for a nice summer Chicago
fall.
tour.
Perfect.
I love Chicago. I've always had a blast in the Midwest.
Here's my question. When you're back in Chicago, for me, I love Pizzeria Regina. What is the spot you go to? Like, I'm gonna go eat at this spot in Chicago.
Right now, there's like 2 or 3 spots.
Okay.
I'll give you all. Well, they're kind of like all the ranges. My pizza place is Millie's in the Pan.
Okay.
In Uptown, I think it's the best pizza in the city. The guy only makes 65 pizzas per night.
Wow.
And he makes rent off it.
Wow.
And he's just like, that's it. You have to reserve days in advance. And my father-in-law was telling me about it. I was like, oh my God, this is so bougie,
Yeah,
and you walk in and it's not. It's just this guy's like, these are the numbers that I need to do to pay my employees, to pay my rent, and to keep a little money for myself, and to keep the ingredients where they're at. Man, it's not quite, it's pan style. It's not deep dish.
Sure.
Because deep dish, I'm like, that's once a year for like tourists and family members.
Yeah, sure. Its own thing.
Yeah.
Pequod's is very good.
Pequod's is good, but Millie's in the Pan, I think, is the best in the city.
Wow.
Then my like favorite nostalgic place, which Lily actually was a waitress here, and I didn't know that until like months into us dating, is this place called Penny's Noodle.
Okay.
Wow, Penny's
and that's
Noodle.
right under the L tracks. It's this like really quaint like triangle shaped restaurant, just like under the tracks, a couple blocks south of Wrigley Field. And it's Thai food, but it's like Northern Thai. It's not fast. I mean, it comes out fast, and it's just like, I just love it. I love it. I fucking love it. And then,
I also, you just mentioned the L, and I was just like, oh yeah, I went to some, when we were there, like, you just go to like a restaurant under the L. It's just like, oh, that's a fun.
I mean, you would love it. You would hate the cold is horrible.
The cold's tough for me, but I do
also,
like the transit.
It is windy. I know it's about the politicians being bloviating or whatever.
Yeah, sure.
But it is fucking windy and cold in that city. It's
brutal.
A freezing fucking city.
It's brutal.
It's a brutal city.
When you're there on a windy day, it goes in every direction too.
Yeah.
You'll be walking against the wind and you'll be like, okay, it's no big deal. I'm about to turn left on this other street, and you turn and it's also hitting you in the face. You're like, what the fuck is happening? How is this possible?
And then sometimes you'll get one and you're like, ooh, that feels kind of nice. When really, like one of them will blow you one way or the other.
When it goes up your
when it goes
yeah. Give me a solid there.
Penny's Noodle. You had one other place?
Third.
The higher end place. This also an institution. I think it was featured in The Bear, which gets most things about Chicago right, except an Italian beef place would never make their own bread.
Sure.
My brother-in-law, who grew up in Chicago, is like that. He's like, that's inexcusable. You would never make your own bread.
Wow.
Because it would cost so much and would be so like the time that it would take to do that it's insane.
Yeah.
You would go to an Italian bakery, most likely within a mile, and bulk order actual Italian bread.
Yeah.
So that was the only thing that
Nice
my
try, Bear.
family was like. My family's like, no. But they go to this place called Avec.
Our friend Joanna Kalo, of course.
Joanna.
Past
Doughboys
Joanna.
guys.
No.
The bread, you gotta.
You gotta.
We will be watching for a correction this season.
They apologize for season 1. No, but I love that. Eben Moss Bachrach is like goals. That guy, I fucking love that guy.
Yeah.
I actually saw him when we were filming Deli Boys. We were on the same soundstage as the Bear.
Wow.
When they were doing season 3, I guess. And I was in Deli Boys. At one point, I'm pretending to be an Italian mobster. So they like slicked my hair back, and I had like a white T-shirt and like a gold chain and like a bad blazer. I looked so stupid, and I had big
Amelia's
sunglasses
pissed off right now.
And I'm walking like down the soundstage, and then Jeremy Allen White and Maddie Matheson and Eben Moss Bachrach are walking, and he's like, "Hey, what's up, man?" And he recognized me from Gemstones, and I'm looking so dumb, and I'm like, "Big fan, you guys." But that dude, he's in the lake house, and for some reason I clocked him in the lake house as Keanu's brother. And I didn't say this to him, but I'm like, man, it's so cool. This dude's so cool.
Yeah.
Yeah, he's cool.
I've seen the lake house like 6 times.
Really?
You have?
I saw it 4 times on planes.
Wow.
Yeah.
I've never seen it once. I'm gonna go see it. But he's a good actor.
Yeah, he's great. He's in it for a short amount of time, but for some reason I was always like, hey, it's the guy from the lake house.
Wait, you've seen it?
By the way, that character that you were dressed up as, we're about to see a lot of them in NEW Jers. We're going to see a lot of those.
That's right. We're going to Newark.
We're going to Newark. So we're going to see. Well, maybe not Doughboys. I don't know.
You don't think it's going to be all those guys in the crowd?
Yeah.
I think it's going to be fat greaseball guys in the crowd
I
instead.
think we have some Guidos in our fan base. I think
there's for sure some Guidos.
That.
Yeah. Hey, look, I know I give them a hard time, but I love the Guidos. I love you.
You give them a hard time.
I give them a hard time, but I love those Guidos.
Quote tweet Guido shit.
I had just what you were just saying. That story you were just telling reminded me of a thing many years ago. I was writing for this show. And it was like a panel show, so like you'd have guests on, and you'd be like, writing jokes for them, and just so they'd go out and they'd be, like, hey, whatever the topic is, they're gonna have something ready to say, and so but I was working on that show, but I also was doing an on-camera bit in it, and as part of the on-camera bit, I had they put me in like a 2010 era like douchebag outfit where I had like a double polo shirt with a pop collar and like I had longer hair at the time. It was like greased up, And so I'm just talking to this guy, just sort of saying like, yeah, and it goes up. We'll show this video of this woman falling down, and then you'll maybe make one of these jokes or whatever. And the guy the whole time was like, okay, yeah, sure, whatever, man. And he went out there and he did some of the stuff we worked on. It went great. And then afterwards he was like, hey man, I'm sorry I was weird earlier. I thought you just were that guy.
Like, that's the representation the show was like, but we also have to have one of these.
Yeah.
Eben Moss oh God. Eben Moss Bachrach. Is that how you say it? Bachrach.
Yeah.
He's The Thing. And
Yeah.
Which I auditioned. I told Marvel I could save him a lot of money with CGI if they just cast me. Just like puts a little, sprinkle a little gravel on me. But they gave it to him. I mean, he's
sprinkle a little gravel. Just like dip it in glue and then toss it at you.
They would have saved a lot on effects. That's what I was trying to. I was trying to sell them on this.
I get what you're saying.
My audition went like really bad for The Thing, but
give me a little thing. You got to have some.
I said
it's clobbering time.
I said it's clubbering time.
Oh, that's
I was
big,
like, oh, hold on, wait, no, hold
club.
on. So can I take that back?
Yeah.
No, it did. How you want to hear something? You want to? Is that what you're saying?
No, you just did it. It's fine.
All right, good. Thank you. Thank God.
I just want to hear you say.
I'm too tired today. I cannot function today. What's your third place? Because I have a follow.
Oh, it's called Avec.
I've heard of Avec. I've heard of Avec.
Is great.
Yes.
The original location on Randolph, I think, because they have a second one in the River North or something like that. But the original one's great. It's just one of those places you walk into and you're like, oh. You can feel like the atmosphere is kind of electric. They have a big counter that you can sit at. They have a couple staples. Infatuation Chicago just had Michael Shannon there, which is really funny because, he's so intense. And he had like half his head shaved, but the other half not shaved. And he's like, these bacon wrapped dates, they're so good. It's just, that one's worth checking out.
Wow.
Is it a gastro type pub? Like what exactly? Because I feel like I've just read this on a Chicago Eater. I've heard of it before, but
it has like maybe Mediterranean or Lebanese, New American influences. The wine list is really good, but pretty eclectic.
Sure.
Like they'll have random stuff from like the Middle East, like a wine from the Middle East, or it's very hard to describe, but also like a real magical place where you're like, man, that was an incredible meal.
You know what I hold dear in my heart, and it's a very touristy spot, but I do love it. And I went there when my dad was sick, and we went to Chicago, and we that's one of the trips we took when my dad was sick, and we did the Wendella cruise, which people love to point out that Dave Matthews shit got poured on one of the boats there.
Yeah, we do love to point that out. It's very funny.
And his piss.
And his piss. But also,
Probably should come.
Do you know?
In the toilet?
Oh, definitely.
Yeah, true.
On a tour bus, you got a jack in the toilet. There's no other option. I say
Can you please jack in the toilet? What's all this jack doing all over the place?
Yelling that at the violinist. I have heard a theory, by the way, that it was actually the opening band and Dave Matthews took the hit for them.
He would.
Wow.
He's a good. Dave Matthews is a good man.
What wasn't the whole thing though? It was the driver.
Chicagoans should feel fucking lucky to be covered in his shit.
But
and piss and cum.
And then it's piss and cum.
Yeah. But wasn't the whole thing? I thought the whole thing on that was just the driver going rogue. Like it wasn't like anyone egging him on.
I don't
the
think
driver
Dave Matthews has any control over the functions of the bus.
I think the driver thought it was funny.
But I have heard that at times Dave Matthews drives the bus.
So it could have been that.
Well, actually, no, that's unsubstantiated. But that'd be interesting if he's like, "We're going over a bridge. I got this. I got it. Get up.
Man, imagine that. You're like, oh, brown, yellow, white. That's when you find out there's cum in there.
When you're covered in shit and piss or cum, the first thing that everyone's brain does is describe the color.
So to go back to the heartfelt thing.
Wait, can I say one more thing about that?
Well, yes, please,
The
of course.
funny fact about that whole fiasco is they cleaned the boat in time for the 2 p.m. tour that day.
Oh my God.
Wow. I was working in a high-rise building when that happened that overlooked that bridge.
Whoa.
Wow.
Yeah.
You could have seen it. You could have seen it go down.
Yeah.
Jesus.
Yeah, I worked at like at Michigan Avenue and the river, the Chicago River, and so you could see a bunch of bridges down the river, and then that happened, and like word started circulating, and then we're all looking out there. We're like, oh my god, this is crazy.
You could have pissed and shit on them too, and they wouldn't know that they would be none the wiser.
The perfect crime.
Yeah, the perfect.
Yeah,
crime.
you go out there, and there were a ton of Chicagoans that you could see them running, streaming out of the building, almost like like they were zombies, or like they're in The Last of Us, and they're just going there, and everyone's dropping their pants and shitting, like people jerking off. It's the only time the cops are just like,
those old Irish cops.
Yeah, as you were.
I bet they didn't even clean up the boat for the 2 p.m. and those fucking filthy Chicagoans didn't notice a thing. I like to shit on Chicagoans. This is a new thing. Everyone gives Boston so much shit. I like to shit on other cities. Chicago, such a fun city, and when I went there with my dad, and we went out on the lake for the 4th of July.
Oh,
it was great. But we went to Gibson's.
Yes.
Steakhouse.
Yeah.
And
I got to go to Gibson's.
I know it's touristy, but
no, Gibson's is great.
I love it. I love Gibson's.
There's sometimes those spots, and I mean,
Morton's is great.
Oh yeah, I love Morton's.
The LA equivalent might be like a Musso and Frank. It's like this is touristy, but this is a landmark for a reason, and it's kind of a fun night out to go.
Musso and Frank. We went the end of year. Me, you, and Sus went for the Steak and Shake.
That's right. We had a lovely time.
We had a great.
Oh
time.
yeah.
I was looking it up because this is a newer chain that we visited, Mitch, in 2023 when we were there with our buddies Carl Tart and Jamie Loftus. Do Right Donuts, which has donuts, but is also a fried chicken place, and specifically fried chicken sandwiches, which is something we're talking about today. But I don't know if you've had a chance to have Do Right. We had a great time.
No, was it good?
Yeah, it was real good.
Donuts too?
Yeah.
Oh, everything's great. By the way, I want to say Chicagoans do love when I'm like, this place sucks shit. They are one of the cities that they love to get shit on. It's very funny.
Well, because you don't want too many people moving there. You know what I mean?
Maybe that's a part of it.
Like the summer and the fall are great. But the winter breaks people.
Yeah.
And it's this nice kind of like, and also like, conservatives go nuts. They're Chicago's a hellhole.
Oh,
You're
sure.
like, cool, stay the fuck out of it. Great. We have enough corruption. We don't need that kind. Like, okay. You don't like it? Great. I wonder why you don't like it.
We only want one conservative. Vince Vaughn for his summer movie. Come on in, Vince.
Oh God.
I gotta ask about one more place.
Yeah.
There's the famous Au Cheval. Do you like that?
Yeah. And they have small cheval now.
Small cheval. Yeah. Is that's I've never had. That's like the big burger I think I've never had.
Yeah, that burger.
Kuma's Corner. We've had the Billy Goat Tavern Wise. We went together.
Yeah, that's fun.
That is fun.
Billy Goat's fun. I remember the first time. I grew up, in Joliet, which is like past the Chicago suburbs. So you hear about
Blues
Billy
Brothers
Goat.
Prison,
which was 3 blocks from my elementary school.
Wow.
Yeah, so we'd pass it in the bus like every day.
Wow.
Really crazy. And my dad actually taught there for like 2 years, I think. He taught like speech and English to inmates.
Prison?
Wow.
Yeah.
Yeah, my grandpa taught it at prison.
Canonically, he would be teaching Jake and Elwood. They're canonically back in the Slammer, aren't they? At the end of
Yeah, that is canon.
And then I toured that prison because that prison's been decommissioned for at least a decade. And so now it's like a historical museum. And actually, this is a weird. Do we have time? This is maybe a 3-4 minute story.
Yeah.
So this is really weird. It's very random. Jim Downey's from my hometown.
Oh, right. Yes.
So is Paul Appel, and I think Melissa McCarthy grew up in Plainfield, but then went to high school in Joliet, and my aunt was her guidance counselor.
Wow.
Yeah.
So a lot of the comedy pedigree and
Andy Dick is from Joliet too.
Okay.
Yeah.
Wow.
And Anthony Rapp.
Okay.
Oh, wow.
I think
Anthony
it stops.
Rapp.
I think it stops there.
Yeah.
Still pretty good.
You can toss Dick in the prison there in Joliet.
He's breaking in, buddy. So I met him senior in high school when he was going on this Goodwill PR tour after that guy from Suddenly Susan killed himself.
Oh,
anyway,
right.
That's not the story. So the story is Jim Downey gets wind that I'm from Joliet like 5 or 6 years ago. I was doing these spots for AT&T during March Madness, and he thought they were really funny. And so his assistant hits me up, and she's like, Jim Downey wants to get in touch with you. I'm like, oh, okay, yeah, here's my number. And she's like, no, you'll have to reach out to him. And he's got like a burner phone that you can reach out. I'm like, oh, okay, all right. So like 6 months go by, and I run into her again. She's like, did you ever call him? I'm like, no, I thought this was like a joke or something. She's like, no, he wants to hear from you. Okay. So I call him, and he's about to hang up, and I'm like, no, Tim Baltz, Joliet. And he's like, oh, hey, what's up?
Oh, my God.
He thought I was a spam caller.
Oh, my God.
So then I talked to him for like 45 minutes and, find out that like my parents and him have these mutual friends because he went to the same high school as my dad, but like 8-10 years later. And he's like, okay, well, we'll keep in touch. Well, years go by, I don't hear from him. And then out of the blue, maybe like April of 2023, he calls me out of the blue. I'm like, oh, Jim Downey's calling me. I answer the phone. And he's like, hey, how are you? Hey, my birthday's coming up in October. Are you going to be in Joliet? I go to Joliet like 3 times a year.
Sure.
And I'm like, well, actually, yeah, I am going to be there. My mom's moving, and I have to help her move. And I can't really lie about it because we have mutual friends.
Sure.
Not that I would have lied about it, but I said, yeah, actually, I'll be there. He's like, okay, great. John Mulaney's playing the Rialto Theater in town, and Pete Davidson's opening for him. So I figured we could all tour the Joliet prison and then go out to dinner together before the show. Okay, sure, Jim. There's no way this is going to happen.
Yeah, sure.
So then I'm home at my mom's place, and like the 2 days before Jim Downey calls, he's like, okay, great. So we'll meet at the prison. All right. So I meet at the prison. John Mulaney shows up. Pete can't do it because he has to host SNL last minute. That happened a couple of years ago. So we just tour the Joliet prison.
Oh, my God.
With someone giving us a historical tour. And John Mulaney's just kind of doing bits with Downey the whole time. I'm like, what the hell is this?
That's fantastic.
My elementary school is a couple blocks away. And then we leave and we go to this restaurant in Joliet, which some people love. Not my favorite, but some people love, and Downey loves it. And we eat at this place. And then we go see Mulaney's show. And then the show's over, and Downey's like, great, okay, great. All right, well, I'll get in touch soon. And then every once in a while he'll text. He's like, are you in LA? And I'll be like, no, I'm not. He's like, oh, no response.
That's wild.
Wow.
Yeah.
The connection of a just hometown guy. Just
sure.
Which how like this really could have helped me earlier in my fucking career. Like he was like, it's too bad you never auditioned for SNL. I was like, I did. I did, Jim. He's like, what year? I was like, 2012. He's like, I was gone by then. Wait, no, I wasn't. I'm like, what the fuck, man?
All it took was for you to know I was from fucking Joliet.
Yeah.
That's fucking. I mean, it would drive me insane too, of course.
Yeah.
But
No, it's okay. It's okay.
yeah. Hey, you got the prison tour.
I got the prison tour out of it. That's as good as SNL.
What a not since Jake and Elwood has the comedy pedigree in that build with you and Jim Downey and John Mulaney. What a trio to be in there.
Yeah. Plus some Joliet people that were real funny guys, I guess.
That's a wild story. Also, just Jim Downey, I mean, who is legendary to in my just the fact that he would want you to reach out to him. That's crazy.
Yeah, I'm still like a little kind of stunned. Because he's the kind of the first person that was on my radar of comedy people who were like,
Sure.
"Oh, you came from here and you made it." You know? That's weird.
We got to do a Joliet tour if we're back in Chicago. That would be fun.
I love my hometown. I'm super proud of it. But if you're in the Chicago area and you say like I'm from Joliet, people will they'll instinctively flinch.
Oh, okay.
Or they say I'm sorry.
Oh man. So we should not go to Joliet.
If you do, I'll give you all my recommendations.
All right.
You go to Home Cut Donuts, best donuts in the world.
Wow.
Home Cut Donuts is fucking amazing.
Okay. Good
Yeah.
to know.
Open 24 hours.
Wow. All right.
363 days a year.
I mean, I love it. And also, I don't know if we should. I'm not sure if we should just tempt the thing of putting you in a prison. I don't know if they'll just.
I love it here. It sounds like what you're saying about Joliet to Chicago is kind of like what Quincy is to Boston. So
that's people don't
like
flinch
this fucking
at
hellhole.
Quincy. I mean, people do not. Quincy was a working class city for
sure,
at one point, but now it's just as gentrified. I feel like as anywhere
Well,
else.
Joliet, people flinch at it for cruel socioeconomic reasons.
Sure.
Gotcha.
It's a classist, racist thing.
100%.
Which that's why I stand Joliet and I love it.
Wow.
I want to visit Joliet, and I only knew it from. Now I know so much more about it too. But we got to segue quickly, Wags, before we get into food.
Yes.
I got to know the origin of this Gatorade shirt. Are you a golfer, by the way?
Yeah, but only for the last 2 or 3 years.
Okay.
And I actually haven't golfed in a year because I got golfer's elbow from learning pole dancing in Gemstones.
Oh my God.
Yeah.
It
sucks.
Yeah, that's
golfer's elbow is fucking awful. It's so much worse than tennis elbow.
You were golfing, but you got golfer's elbow from an activity that wasn't golfing.
Yes.
Wow.
Yeah.
That's wild.
It's brutal.
It happens. I didn't know either, Wags. Yeah. I'm trying to get into it, so maybe we could golf.
Pole dancing?
Oh,
I'm not going to pole. I'm not going to fucking bend a pole.
We should go to the Los Feliz 3, the swingers.
I love it.
Right off the 5.
I love it.
That's we call it the people's course. It's so, man.
It's like a shitty easy course.
Oh
basically.
man. Yeah.
Would you call it the swingers course?
The people's. Yeah, it's in swingers.
It's in swingers.
Oh, it's in swingers.
Yeah.
Okay.
But we call it the people's course because it's not for the elites.
There's we were just talking about mess hall earlier, which was in swingers. That was the Brown Derby, and then also it's called the Derby, and that's where they go and they go in the movie. They go there. That's like where the big dance number. That's what mess hall once was.
Oh wow. The mighty have fallen.
Well, wait, 100%. How did you get this Gatorade?
How'd I get this? Okay, so the pandemic, we all went crazy in our own separate ways.
Sure.
I started going on eBay and finding boxes of basketball cards from when I was in junior high. I collected basketball cards just the 3 years I was in junior high. And there was this run on cards and collecting during the pandemic because everyone was trapped inside. And I was like, you know what? I just need something to make me feel, I don't know, tap back into some stimming thing that made me feel good as a kid.
Yeah.
My mom found Gulf War cards during the pandemic.
Yeah. That's what she got into. Your mom's like Alexander Skarsgård in Garden State all of a sudden. COVID turned her into that.
Michael, I have a PSA 9 Norman Schwarzkopf.
Don't know who it is, but I know it's a reference.
This is an investment. So I started with that, and then that got pretty out of control, but Lily was very supportive. But it got out of control.
Yeah.
And so I was like, I gotta shift gears, but I love the NBA, and I love all teams. So I started going on there and finding hats, of specifically like early 90s, mid 90s, before the logos sucked, before all the redesigns in like the late 90s, which
too sleek. Now.
Oh yeah.
And now it's like weird, like it just feels like, I don't know, everything feels automated and.
I feel lucky with Celtics that it is just a classic.
So lucky.
It's great.
Yeah.
Look, all of our primary fandoms, Celtics, Bulls, and me, I've lived in Southern California my whole life, Los Angeles Lakers, these are all like kind of logos that stand the test of time. But a lot of these teams keep reworking things. And I mean, like the Detroit Pistons have a great classic logo, but they had a time in the late 90s where they had a redesign that was pretty aggressively ugly.
Ooh, really ugly.
Yeah.
There's a ton. Yeah, those redesigns, that was gross. So I went back and I started finding hats, the specific brands, and you just keyword search and find stuff. And then I would get them. Sometimes they were in bad shape. This is right at the beginning when I had shifted to hats. And so I figured out this method on how to clean them and basically make them look brand new.
Wow.
Because they're used.
Yeah,
I'm
sure.
like, I don't know, I might be getting some sweaty hat from like a guy from 30 years ago.
Sure.
So I clean them, and then I'm like, oh no, now I know how to like redeem all these hats. So then I bought like 50 or 60 or like old hats like this. And I almost wore a Timberwolves one. I'm glad I didn't.
Oh, wow. Okay.
Because,
that's fine.
Okay.
Series will be over by the time this episode's out.
Is it 3-1?
It's 3-1. I mean, whatever. It's not a great
Look,
matchup.
You're set up for the future.
Yeah, we're set up for the future.
Yeah, true.
The charmed life.
And then I stumbled across this. I don't even know why. Maybe it was because I started golfing and I looked for like polo or something.
Sure.
No, actually it was because Lily kept trying to wear this one polo that I've had since 6th grade.
Yeah.
I'm like, absolutely not.
Yeah.
Sometimes I'd come home, she'd be wearing this polo. I'm like, this is unacceptable.
Like, I'm trying to take a shit here.
Pavlovian. Every time I take a shit, she puts on one of my polos. It's vintage polos too. What is it? I mean, I shit with the door open. It's my own fault.
There's only one solution. You can't shit. You got to hold it in, my man.
I know.
In the house, you got to hold it in.
It's true.
Yeah.
I got a bucket outside. So yeah, I found this and I was like, wow, this is really.
Oh wait, was it the wrong guy?
Yeah.
And I can't say it.
I'll say it now.
Yeah.
This was I had a friend who worked on a sitcom, and I don't know if you know from Chicago.
I've never met him.
But he was so lazy that he refused to leave the set to use the restroom. So they had a bucket for him in the closet.
Piss bucket.
That he would piss in. And at the end of the day, PAs would draw straws and one of them would have to go empty it. Isn't that a nightmare?
It's disgusting.
Yeah.
All right,
What a fucking ghoul. Oh, man. I wish you'd keep that in. That's too funny.
Yellow, brown, white. Damn. Tough day for Baltz. Good day for Baltz.
I guess we can keep it in if we bleep both names that were just said.
Yeah.
Probably,
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, that's good.
That's good.
Great callback to the shit, piss, and cum. You don't want to lose that.
That's what the Doughboys are all it's about. Yeah, we can bleep out. Can we bleep out the names? Is that okay?
We'll talk about it.
We'll talk about it.
But anyway, we're
all right. If not, let's pick it up here.
Yeah.
We just got back from a story about some actor that has a piss bucket.
His name is Mike Mitchell.
Wait, we were in the middle of something. What were we talking about? Oh, your shirt. We were talking about the origin of your Gatorade shirt.
Oh, yeah. I just went down an eBay rabbit hole where I'm like, I couldn't afford stuff like this when I was a kid. I'm like, now I can. Fuck it. I'm buying the old stuff. And if you learn how to, make something like new, you get a tremendous amount of satisfaction.
Wow.
The maintaining like old stuff. It's nice.
That to me is, I love Gatorade already, and that is just a good classic. I am a big Gatorade fan. Are you not a Gatorade fan?
I don't give a shit. Gatorade. It's not like this shirt isn't making me thirsty.
You know what?
I don't know why that's killing me.
I think Lily is right to steal your shirt. Then if you don't care about the Gatorade factor.
No, I do. It's cool, and it's the 90s. It's the retro one.
Yeah, the looks are great here. Wait, do you have a favorite? Because you're wearing the Spurs hat. Spurs hat is great. That classic logo. Do you have a favorite in your collection or ones that are your go-tos?
This one's really high up there.
Yeah, for sure.
I love Wembanyama.
Yeah.
I'm half French, so I'm really proud of Wembanyama. I'm very
I didn't know
excited
that.
about Wembanyama. Yeah.
Wow.
And I also, there was this card shop down in South Carolina in Charleston. Shout out to Collector's Corner. And they were in the mall. Rough House, the production company, had basically taken over the old Sears when it went bankrupt. And that was their production headquarters. And so one day I was wandering around the mall and I stumbled on this like little card shop, memorabilia shop. And I'm like, uh-oh, this is bad news, because I'm there alone. Lily comes out and visits for short periods of time.
Yeah.
And so I start buying cards from this guy, and we become buddies, and I'm going in there a lot. And he kind of talked me into buying this expensive box. And I show up, and he's like, "Yeah, I kept something for you in the back." And he brings it out, and it's kind of expensive. And I'm like, well, okay, let's do it. And I pulled a Wembanyama autograph.
Wow.
Yeah,
That's
Holy
Wild.
shit.
it's in a safe place.
Yeah.
That's cool as hell.
Can't be stolen.
Wow.
By the way, when Lily visits, when she leaves, like, how many shirts do you have left?
She goes on the road. Yeah, she went on the CBB tour, and I only had pants. I had to put pants on and walk around, my head through the crotch.
Yeah, head through the
Hell.
fly. Yeah, that makes sense.
I'm eating. I'm at all time like.
Wags, you know those days when you want to just get home and get in your bed?
Oh, yeah.
Well, guess what? That's every day for me.
Wow.
Because I have a Helix mattress. That's right. I love my Helix mattress, Wags. I've had it now for about 7 years almost.
And how has your sleep improved since you switched to Helix?
Fantastically,
Wow.
Wags. I feel like I'm sleeping on a cloud. I love it. Wally and Irma love it. My mom loves it when she comes to visit. I'm a good son and sleep on the couch.
Yeah.
It's a fantastic mattress. I have the Moonlight Luxe. That's the mattress I have. And you know what? I took the Helix sleep quiz, answered some easy questions. They matched me with the mattress. It was sent right to my door. Setup was easy. It was a fantastic experience.
Mitch, you and I both have a number of ailments that are affected by sleep. I snore. I think you snore. You've had. I
got a CPAP machine.
You talked about your CPAP machine. I have lower back pain, and that can be exacerbated by a bad night's sleep. And I have trouble just sleeping through the night often.
Well, Helix will help you with all those, Wags. Yeah. And if you're too hot when you sleep, it will cool you down. They got some cool mattresses. They got anything you want. And I'm a proud supporter of Helix for 7 years going. Wow. And my next mattress, guess what it's going to be?
A Helix?
And guess what?
What?
Your next mattress is going to be Helix too.
Wow. Go to helixsleep.com/doughboys for 27% off site-wide, plus free bedding bundle, sheet set, and mattress protector with any Luxe or Elite mattress order. Exclusive for listeners of Doughboys.
Wow. Do it.
Let's talk about the Popeyes Pickle Menu. Popeyes, founded in 1972 in New Orleans by Al Copeland, an infamous huckster, Mitch, who we've talked about in the past,
right.
Who named his chain Popeyes because he wanted the free IP association with Popeye the Sailor Man. And at the time, Rip Gene Hackman, The French Connection, the movie was very, very big, and Popeye Doyle, the character from that, was the other association he was trying to claim. He also publicly feuded with Interview with the Vampire author Anne Rice later in life, another New Orleans legend.
Why?
Yeah.
What was the feud, you know?
It was over real estate.
Okay.
It was like basically he owned a property that she wanted, and they publicly.
Rich person.
It was a rich
feud.
person
Okay.
thing, yeah, basically. Yeah.
Great. One of those.
Anyway, there are around 3,000 locations worldwide, which puts in the top 20 of American chain restaurants. It's approximately the size of Jersey Mike's. This is our fifth canonical review of Popeyes, most recently reviewed in 2022 with Van Robichaux, where it entered the Platinum Plate Club. We all gave it 5 forks. Bug Main, who also made an appearance in that episode, gave, quote, new religions being started by the movies Coco and Soul, end quote, 0 forks. I don't remember what that was in reference to.
Me neither. This is in our Wikipedia?
Yeah, it's in our Wikipedia. Shout out to Vinod. Also, apparently, I applied the Doughboys lock, which means it cannot be unmoored from the PPC. It is in the Platinum Plate Club. I don't know. I guess I did it. Anyway, the Pickle Menu launched on April 1st of this year. It sounded like an April Fool's joke, but it is a real thing that has been heavily, has been heavily advertised during the NBA playoffs. The quote is, "No one pickles like Popeyes."
No.
Perfect for the NBA.
Perfect.
Are you a pickle fan?
Yeah, where are you stand on pickles?
Yeah, I like pickles.
Yeah, me too.
I love cornichon.
Oh, yeah, those are fun.
Yeah.
What about fried cornichon?
Has anyone done that?
No.
That would be
Mitch, that's a good idea.
It's like
That's
popcorn
really
chicken, but
good.
pickle version.
Jemmy woke up at that notion.
Jemmy.
Jemmy.
Hey. Oh, what do you think of this clown's idea here, huh, Amelia? Fried cornichon?
That's
Good,
interesting.
it's good.
I do like fried pickles, but I like pickles just in general. And I'm more of a, I'm not
Pickle
as much
freak?
of a what'd you say?
Pickle freak? You're not a pickle
I don't know if I'm quite a pickle freak, but I love
My sister, big time pickle freak.
I love more of a dill pickle as opposed to like a bread and butter, as opposed to I like a dill relish as opposed to a sweet relish.
Speaking of Chicago, just this funny thing of Kowalik cousin. Remember the Hannibal Buress? Hannibal Buress has a bit about pickle juice.
Oh yeah,
and how he likes to put pickle juice on stuff. And then he got mad at his roommate for throwing it away. And the roommate is Kowalik's cousin,
That's
which
right,
is just a very funny Kowalik connection that doesn't make sense.
Our buddy Kowalik.
Yeah. The Rat Man. We love him.
We love him. So right now they have I'll just run through all the menu items that they have. Wait, where do you stand on pickles? You like cornichons?
My sister's a huge pickle freak.
Yeah.
I love cornichons. I love pickles, but the way Hannibal Buress is and the way my sister are dipping bread into pickle juice. I'll sometimes drink pickle juice. It's also, I'll say this, pickle juice, and I think for this for the Popeyes pickle menu, if you had one of those pickle lemonades, very strong. We'll talk about them. But if you had a hangover, pickle juice I found out is great for hangover. It's very helpful for a hangover. And I like ate a big pickle once when I was hungover. It was like a lifesaver.
Yeah.
I know that sounds insane, but it worked great.
A lot of people sip pickle juice after like an intense workout too, like after a run.
Yes.
I've heard of this. Yeah. I believe that actually has something to do with the genesis of Gatorade, is the same sort of restorative properties.
So I'm like,
wow, look at that.
Yeah. How about that?
That's nuts. That's crazy. That's the craziest thing we'll find out on this podcast.
I'm not dipping bread into pickle juice. I'm not pouring. I like pickles. I do like them.
It's for some people, I'm a bit of a heat seeker. I do like spicy foods, but for some people, like hot sauce is like an identity. Like I'm putting hot sauce on absolutely everything. I feel like pickles are a similar sort of thing. There's some people who are so into pickles that they got to have pickles like with basically every meal.
Yeah.
Yeah. But it's not quite
mustard.
that.
My sister loves mustard too, and I feel like the two kind of go together quite
they're kind of linked. They kind of both have that sort of sour, sort of pungent quality
vinegar,
to them.
I don't know what the deal is.
If
Maybe
you
it's
have
vinegar,
a sandwich and it has mustard on it, it could also have pickles on it.
100%.
That's your sister, right?
That's my 100. Yes.
She's lifting it up and she's good.
Yes, extra pickles always, and pickles on the side. That's in the and mustard and pickles I think do work well together.
Well, yeah. For me, the hot dog is a natural context, and we can talk about Chicago hot dogs if you like.
Sure.
But if I can get a hot dog with yellow mustard, relish, and then like ideally dill relish, but sweet relish will do, and then like raw onions. That's like my favorite. That's like
Sounds
my
like
ideal.
You don't want to talk about the Chicago dog.
No, we can talk about them. You want to talk about them?
Sure.
They're
what do you
good.
think?
They're good.
Yeah, they are good.
I like a char dog.
Char dogs are great.
Yeah, I like a little ketchup on it. I know that some people will be like, you can't do that, Chicago, what you doing? You
Arnold.
fucking kidding me. Yeah, Arnold. What if Arnold Schwarzenegger was from Chicago? But I like ketchup, mustard, relish. I love celery salt.
Oh yeah, that's
love
fun.
Celery salt. Raw onion, same thing. But I like all the fixins, I guess. The tomato and sport peppers.
Sport peppers are fun.
Man, I've had some bad experiences too. God, I had a sport pepper there when I was there in February, I think. Yeah, I was at a Super Bowl party.
Oh man,
it was bad.
Was it too spicy? What was the deal?
It just like hit one of those, like I inhaled and it was like in the nose, and then
oh man,
it's the worst. You sometimes bite into a spice, like one of them those small guys, those spicy peppers, and it like hits you in the back of the throat, like rocks your uvula, and it's like it's just over.
I'm a heat seeker too.
Yeah.
Doughboys. That's Arnold's a super fan.
Doughboys. Yeah. As a super fan. That would have been great.
One of the super
See,
fans.
that's what we need AI for. To do that. Farley's getting the heart attack, and he's like, "Oh no, help him with the heart attack!
Get him to the copter." Yeah,
get him to the copter.
Jim Downey texts you after this episode is out.
I'm making that. I'm gonna make it happen.
Okay, so I'll run through the whole menu, and we can just talk about our reactions to them. But we were able to get everything, I'm pretty sure, because Amelia went in store. They don't have the fried pickles on the app, but in store, some people were saying they had some success with it. You were able to pick them up there.
We got everything except they ran out of the chilled
right.
pickle lemonade.
There's a frozen version of the pickle lemonade, and we did not get that. We got everything else. So there's a pickle glaze sandwich, which is their Popeyes chicken sandwich with a zesty pickle glaze in addition to the standard pickles that come on it. There are pickle glaze bone-in wings and boneless wings, which is, again, the pickle-infused glaze on those two different wing preparations. There are fried pickles. I'll read the
Which a lot of places have not had the fried pickle. We were lucky that we got the fried pickles.
That's what I just mentioned. Yeah, that we had to go in person to do it. Crispy golden brown fried pickles are battered in Popeye's signature seasoning and fried to perfection. And we also got the pickle lemonade, and we talked about how we only got the the regular one, not the frozen one. And we got some other items, but we'll start with the pickles. I mean, I will just say this.
Fried pickles?
I think the pickle stuff in general, the pickle side of the menu.
Yeah.
The pickle glaze sandwich, we all got one for ourselves. That was kind of my main thing that I ate. I love the Popeyes chicken sandwich. Have you had it before?
Yes. Love it.
It's fucking great. I love it. I'm eating this sumbitch, and I'm like, I don't even know that this is a pickle glaze sandwich. Like, it's until I basically reach the midpoint of the sando, which is where all of the glaze is concentrated, because they basically just put like one. I get that they're making these things in a hurry, but they kind of just put one dot on it and then just slam the bun on there. And then I'm not getting that pickle glaze throughout, whereas I thought the whole breast was going to be coated with a pickle glaze. That's what I expected.
Yeah, tossed
kind of slathered. Yeah.
You're saying pickle glaze too much, by the way. I just want to give you a heads up.
Okay.
I like the pickle glaze.
I don't think we're going to get through this episode without saying pickle glaze. That's what
I am saying pickle glaze, too. I guess it is
Stop saying pickle glaze. So my thing with the pickle glaze
it is kind of contagious when you say pickle glaze. You do kind of have to say pickle glaze quite a bit.
Anyway, you're talking about the pickle glaze.
Yeah, sorry. I was talking about that pickle glaze.
Yeah.
I actually, you guys were saying I don't taste any pickle glaze, and I was saying I actually do taste pickle glaze immediately. The sensation, the tastes of the pickle glaze immediately was resonating through my mouth. You guys were not tasting it, and I got it immediately. Towards the end of my sandwich, the last couple bites, I was like, "Oh, there's not pickle glaze on this part of the sandwich."
The distribution of the pickle glaze was more on yours.
My pickle glaze was mine. It was pretty glazed.
Yeah, they kind of Peter North the pickle glaze onto yours.
Yeah.
They squirted more onto yours.
Yeah, they definitely squirted more pickle glaze on mine.
Yeah. I didn't taste it. I didn't taste it at all in the sandwich.
Yeah.
I tasted that something was different. And I guess that was the pickle glaze, but it didn't taste like pickles enough for me to think that it was what was advertised.
It was pretty subtle. And
I'm not saying. Quick question:
What
is a glaze?
Is there a way
sauce?
Yeah. So you want us to describe pickle glaze in fewer than 2 words?
It's kind of, I feel like glazes are generally sweeter sauces.
I know, but I never am talking about, I want to, you know what I could go for is, I want a glaze. Give me some sort of glaze. You know what I mean?
Well,
now I'm going crazy about the pickle glaze.
You have less of, I'll just say, you have less of a sweet tooth than I think a lot of people. Like, you're not as much of a, right?
Yeah, but still, sweet tooth people are like, I need glaze.
I think some people who like sweet meat, like sweet with their meat, will be more into glazes.
I think the glaze is usually applied like during cooking as opposed to a sauce, which is applied after.
Well, not donuts. Difference. Donuts are glazed after the fact.
That's true.
See, no one knows what the fuck a glaze is.
Oh, have you said this before, that you're a heat seeker and you're a sweet seeker?
I am. I've actually, we kind of. But here's the thing: I'm not really a sweet. I like sodas, which I guess makes me a sweet seeker. But I'm not I don't have like a huge sweet tooth. Well, maybe that isn't even true.
I'm looking for a definition of
glaze.
Maybe
I just am a fucking sweet seeker and I can't fucking come to terms with it for whatever reason. I like sweet drinks the most though. And I try not to drink them ever. But sweet drinks I like more than desserts.
Glazes generally are. I'm just looking at one definition
sadly,
here.
I think we maybe have said sweet seeker and seed seeker.
Smooth,
sucks.
Smooth, shiny coatings. Smooth, shiny coatings applied to the surface of a dish, generally sweet or savory. and usually made by reducing a liquid until it thickens. So yeah, a lot of times they are sugar-based or fat-based, and so that's why they're not necessarily sweet by definition, but a lot of them are.
Okay.
But I don't know. I mean, like, I hear it's basically just a sauce. It's just think of it as a thicker sauce.
I would say it's not. I think the glaze part is fake. Maybe it is
I
just
agree.
a pickle sauce.
It's just a pickle sauce, and they could have used more of it. But I don't know. What did you like beyond it not quite meeting your expectations?
Well, because also there wasn't enough sauce on my sandwich.
Yes,
so when I had the boneless chicken wing, and that was covered in sauce, then I really hit it, and it was spicier than I thought. And it wasn't too chemically,
No.
But I did say when we were eating it, I'm like, I wonder if they just were experimenting. They made a new sauce and they were like, it's not, it's not poison. What flavor is it? And someone was like, I don't know, pickle? And they're like, oh my God, pickle. Yes, great. When do we do it? And they're like, NBA playoffs.
Were they working backwards from the sauce, or did they have the idea for a pickle menu and were like, let's try to approximate that as much as possible? I do think it had not enough sauce on the sandwich, at least our versions of it. Did you either of y'all get the sandwich? Emma, you got something, didn't you?
I got just some chicken tendies.
Okay, how were those?
They were great.
Yeah, I mean, Popeyes' fried chicken is delightful. The wings I thought were good. We got both the bone-in and the boneless with the pickle glaze, as I mentioned. Yes, you're right, Tim, that there was like a reservoir in one of the boneless containers of pickle glaze, and that was the best way to taste what it actually was supposed to taste like. I took one of those bone-in wings and just kind of dipped it in there, and I was like, this is pretty good. I don't think I'd ever order this if this was like, hey, here are all the options and one of them is pickle glaze. I'm going to choose pickle glaze over like a hot buffalo or a barbecue. I don't know why I do that to myself, but I do think it was a pretty good, in terms of delivering on that expectation.
Yeah, and it was a weird little reservoir, like you were saying.
It was really strange.
I don't know why there was so much in that we definitely hit oil in that one container.
The squirts were completely uneven for all our experiences.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm the same. It didn't ruin any of the chicken.
No.
It was just a sauce that I'm like, well, I wouldn't naturally go there. And they should have had sauce on the side, right? That we could have dipped.
Yeah.
But they can't do it because they called it a glaze.
Yeah.
It would have been nice because they have so many sauces on the side there that you can get, and we got a bunch of them. It's like Chick-fil-A. They got 8 different sauces. We got a bunch of them.
I want to give a word to these restaurants. The Doughboys like uniform squirts. Give us uniform squirts. Right, Wags?
Uniform squirts.
We want the uniform squirts.
Yes.
This does not have it. And also to get into there's one item that had arguably too much pickle. A liquid item, the little too much squirt of pickle.
Yeah,
in it.
we'll get to that. But
okay.
What did you think of those wings? Because you're a boneless guy.
I liked them quite a bit, and I also think that Popeyes for fast food wings. I'm not even counting like fast casual like Wingstop and even though Wingstop is fast food basically, but Wingstop and Buffalo Wild Wings I won't include in this, and I think that Popeyes has good wings for fast food. Like I'm like a place that has a drive-through and has wings that level. I can't think of many others that are that good.
I'd rather just have their fried chicken.
Same,
but
yes,
it
of course.
was like if you want wings, the thing is they are like breaded, and that makes them pretty heavy. And it's not necessarily always like, to me that's just like, oh, it's just the wing part of the fried chicken. Just give me a quarter.
But they are they're pretty tasty.
Good. Yeah.
They're good. Yeah.
I think they're well fried, and you I know you like boneless over bone-in. I like bone-in. I thought they were good bone-in wings. But what did you think of the boneless?
I talk about how they're back east. There are good boneless, and everyone makes fun of me for that. But there, like when you come back, can I just show you good boneless wings?
Yeah, fine, sure, whatever you want.
Why are you mad at that?
I'm not. I just want to do it. Let's
all
go.
right, good. Let's do it.
Boneless wings.
All right, fuck yeah.
Good boneless.
Yeah, where are we going?
We'll go to a place in Quincy. Maybe we'll go to Fowler House or something like that. But there are good boneless, and like that. I do like, but I also do like wings. I'm not like anti-wing.
Yeah, sure.
Yeah. All right.
Tim, where do you stand? Boneless, bone-in wings?
Either one.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Both. You know what? Honestly, that's the same. That's the reasonable middle we need in this country right now.
Yeah.
That is a dose of sanity. They're both good.
It's more about how it's cooked. If it's what the rub is, what the sauce is. Like it's like you can fuck up both.
Yeah.
Are you advocating for more centrists?
Yeah, I think so. Yeah, radical centrists. That's what we need.
I'm the Pete Buttigieg of this. I go on Flagrant talking about this, and they're like, "Oh wow, really? No kidding." Oh, okay. Like, yes, this didn't occur to you. Jesus Christ, this is propaganda, but not the shit you're regurgitating. Oh my God.
Podcasters are America's thinkers now.
Those clips drive me fucking crazy.
Oh, I love it.
Like, oh, I just thought that was fact. You did? You fucking idiot. That's what you thought was fact. You ate that shit up? Talk about getting fucking glazed. Jesus Christ. It's such a misinformation problem in this country. Fuck. Anyway, sorry. We can cut that out if you want.
No, I love it. I love it. And also...
Doughboys needs that energy more.
Yeah.
The fuck you talking about with pickle glaze?
Dude, people are like, they're so like, it's one thing to act hard. If your brand is like, all I do is act hard and I punch down on people because they're weak or they're stupid or whatever.
That's what we want Doughboys to be.
But that's what you want it to be?
That's what we want it to be.
You want to be that.
Yeah, we want to be
aspiring
that.
to that.
Yeah, we're aspiring to
Seems
that.
pretty
What's
lucrative.
crazy to me is that it's like, okay, fine, that's your brand. You can't be so easily disproven.
Yes.
You know?
Yeah.
You can't be like, I'm taking on the nerds. You're like, well, then you can't be wrong all the time and easily disproven.
Yes.
You can't be hard and fucking stupid.
Yeah.
And I get if you're fucking stupid, that's your main option.
Right.
But man, you don't understand how dumb you look. You don't look hard.
Yeah.
You don't look hard.
Yeah.
You look fucking stupid.
I love this. I love it.
It's like we're all paying the fucking price for this stupidity.
Yeah, sure.
And what do we get from it? A couple dudes looking hard? Who gives a fuck? We're all worse because a couple dudes are like, I'm fucking hard.
Yeah.
Nobody gives a shit. We're all suffering now because a couple dumbasses are like, I'm on fucking top, man. You know, I'm fucking making it with my fucking Fansly or, you know, my fucking Patreon or whatever the fuck it is.
Yeah.
Who gives a fuck? All these people are misinformed now and you're like, I'm on top.
Yeah.
Of what? A fucking mountain of stupid.
I'll say this. No one has ever accused the Doughboys of being hard. In many different ways.
Yeah.
It drives me nuts.
in podcasting.
Cool doesn't exist. It's a fucking social construct.
For sure.
It's malleable. It changes based on every situation. You go around a bunch of band geeks, they're making fun of jocks. You go around a jocks, they're making fun of band geeks. Like, it doesn't fucking matter. You're going to fucking die, and the hill that you died on is like, I was hard but wrong.
Right.
Fuck off.
I think
Fuck off.
I think Joe Rogan is one of our most important thinkers.
I didn't mention any names.
I just want to put that out there that I think Joe Rogan is one of our most important thinkers, Wags. What do you think of that?
I think that if you look at you're right, Tim, that if you look at the broad swath of time, that's the thing that gets it for me. Because like, you could be the coolest guy in like 1920, and you look back at that guy, it's like, look at this fucking guy.
Yeah,
what the fuck's he doing?
He was wrong like 99.5% of his fucking life.
Yeah, sure.
But he lived in a cool way at the time. And then in hindsight, it's like, this guy was a fucking loser. Like, that's what you want?
Right.
Those are goals?
Yeah.
Okay.
Do you think there's any time I could go back to where I'd be the coolest guy? Any decade?
For sure.
Do you think so?
Yeah.
Prehistoric.
All these animals
The prehistoric decade?
What is this? Mitch is like picking leaves off the tree and eating it. We're like, you can do that. Oh, fuck.
I just get dunked on by some fucking caveman at some point. I don't want to. I agree with you.
Just goes up and points and laughs at your dick.
You're like, God damn it. Next decade.
We agree with you. Joe Rogan is a piece of shit, of course. I don't have to say that.
Sure.
But also,
I'm not even trying to point that out because the influence of these like networks they're vast and sadly they are important, right? Because of the influence that they exert. I'm just baffled that like critical thinking is at such a low point that that you can't say like, hey, a year ago I heard this thing and I took it for fact and then it turned out to be fucking wrong, but I keep listening to the thing that is consistently wrong.
Yeah.
And I ascribe like a coolness or a valor to it, which means nothing and only keeps you misinformed. Like that to me, you don't have the capacity to stop that cycle in your life.
I have a name for
Why?
it.
It's peer pressure. You know, it's the same reason that like abusive people are all around and nobody denounces them. It's because, you know what? My fucking neighbor is an abusive piece of shit.
Yeah.
And if I start spouting my mouth off about it, I'm going to get repercussions.
Right.
Yeah.
That's how abuse persists.
Your neighbor hears this podcast like, hey, what the fuck?
Fucking God. Let him come for me.
If your neighbor's a piece of shit, I wouldn't be surprised if he's listening and watching this
No,
podcast.
I have great neighbors. No, yeah. Oh, actually, no. It's the weird part of the Venn diagram for Doughboys. Like, all my neighbors are pieces of shit, but they do listen to the show.
I call that culture, by the way.
Yeah.
You're not gonna like this. Let's fucking go culture. That's like it reminds me of like Pat McAfee or like these guys who are like let's fucking go, dude. And it's like, well, you should, before going, you should sit down and think about it for a minute and what you're saying is wrong and dumb. You know what I mean? Like,
it's all short-term adrenaline based.
Yes.
You know? It's like just everyone's going till they crash.
Yeah. It's crazy because I got off of social media almost completely a few years, 2 or 3 years ago at this point. And so I'm realizing how much of the stuff is just like something I miss entirely outside of people telling me about it, or I'm in a group text and someone posts a clip and I was like, what is this? And the people are like, oh, this is some huge thing that I'm just completely aware of. Because it's like, so much of this is coming via algorithms, right? This is stuff that's just fed to you if you're just on these platforms.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And we're so deep into that,
right,
that people not understanding that and being like, wait, I'm being manipulated is just irresponsible.
And it's also for many people, it's a privilege that I am able to opt out, because a lot of people is like, hey, either this is my job or I have to do this to have this platform to, be able to get work or whatever the fuck, it's like, it sucks. It's a bad world. Anyway, the Popeyes pickle glaze, the Popeyes pickle glaze itself, I agree, is pretty tasty. I just don't know if it actually enhances any of these. Like, wouldn't you rather just have all of these things just with a different sauce or with no sauce? I don't know.
Here's a question for you. What would that glaze enhance for you? Like, if you were dipping fries, you were dipping fries in it. So it clearly didn't. It didn't do it for fried chicken. What would you dump that on?
I think fried chicken is the best option.
Yeah, and I think I just don't need this glaze.
Sure.
I think it's just not for me. Maybe some people who like pickles like it.
I was nicer too. I do like pickles.
No, I don't even dislike it. I'm just saying, like, anytime it's like you get an Oreo varietal, right? And you're like, okay, I'm gonna have the new,
dill Oreo.
Yeah, the new dill Oreo,
pickle glazed Oreo.
Pickle glazed Oreo.
I think
Green Center.
I think the comparison point is always, do I prefer this to the default, or is the gimmick enough where it's just like, even if this is a one-off, I'm enjoying it? And I'm not sure that's even really the case with either of these, right? It's almost not quite gimmicky enough to be notable, and it's also certainly not better than just like a regular Popeyes chicken sandwich or regular Popeyes wings.
So when it comes to gimmicks like that, you need a hard gimmick. Like, you need a Dave Matthews Band Oreo.
Exactly, yes.
Hell yeah.
Brown, yellow, white, or whatever. Like, each one is like, it's different. It's like the brown's in the middle and the white and the yellow. And so it's like come and kiss with shit in the middle. You're down with this?
Yellow would represent golden Oreo. White is the cream. And then a brown Oreo, this idea is enticing to me.
What song from his catalog is playing over the commercial for this?
I mean, the worst part of it is
I want to hear both.
Well, I don't know DMB's catalog particularly well.
I mean, Too Much would be a great song.
Which one's Too Much?
I eat too much. That one.
Oh yeah, that's
too
good.
much. But like that is even almost too much of a D cup. Even though that was that was one of singles.
But if you don't have one, I'll give you one.
Yeah, go for it.
You can take Crash.
Okay, which one's Crash?
Into me.
Milk.
Crash.
Milk.
Crash into
you can do that. Oh, so you're changing the lyrics?
Dunk into milk.
I think the funniest choice would be Satellite. I just think it'd be so funny.
That's good.
Satellite's one of the most Satellite, and then it's like, in my eyes, and then a guy keeps singing,
they're jacking off.
Time, and it's like shitting, and then it's all going into a bucket, and like, how I wonder, and then they're pouring it into the Oreo tins.
These guys are disgusting.
Let me say this. This is a fan right here. I can feel it.
No, I just had that album. It was one of my first 11 Columbia House albums.
It's a great, Under the Table and Dreaming is a great album. And I'll tell you this, Dave Matthews, not a guy who tries to be hard. And also,
that's true.
Fled South Africa because he didn't want to join the apartheid army, and would stand up to the restaurants in South Africa. And when they when they were segregated, he would have his friends come in and sit on his lap in the restaurant. Dave Matthews is the man, the opposite of these fucking stupid podcasters that we have to deal with, who we are two of, basically.
Yeah, sure, 100%.
Yeah.
You guys are complicit.
Yeah, we're 100% complicit. I can't wait for our trial. I hope that we're both hung.
Caveman's not going to think so. He'd be pointing. This guy's not hung enough.
That's how how
this
they
is also a
learn
scenario.
language.
I'm hanging from a noose and my pants fall down. It's like the most embarrassing thing in the fucking world.
No.
Oh,
Pull 'em
fuck.
up. Not like this.
The gallows breaks. Oh, land on your butt.
You don't die. What's worse is you don't die, and everyone knows you have a small penis. Weiger's dead. Weiger's dead, and you're not even mourning. You're just like, oh, they all know. They saw my penis. Oh,
You're gonna
jeez.
start if there's a noose around your neck, you're gonna by habit start cranking it.
Worst case scenario for both of you guys. You can't get hard. Weiger's super hard. He's like, oh God. Let me come before I die.
Fried pickles. I thought the fried pickles were great. I really liked them.
But I want to. Do you want one last nut? I guess that's just what you made me think of.
Like as you die?
Not as you die. I mean, that's a crazy experience. That's really.
I'm sure it's happened to people because it's like such a like.
Oh
it's
yes,
people
you have heart attacks as
attacks.
you're nutting. Yeah.
Carradine.
Oh yeah.
Oh God, yeah.
But there's the people are like, oh, what was it? Was it set up or whatever?
Yeah, I know. I think there's a lot of cases like that, which are people who are doing that, and then they pass away. Sadly, yeah. But would you want that? It's too much of a sensation for me. I think I would just rather die.
Just so much as is contextual. Like I don't. How are we done? What kind of death are we talking about here? You know?
That's fair enough.
I don't know.
Yeah,
are we talking on a hospital bed or are we talking on a battlefield? I mean, there's different things.
So one was where you would nut, and one is where you wouldn't nut.
Well, I don't know. It just changes the calculation a little.
All right. You know what? I shouldn't even have gotten into this. We'll just get rid of this entire conversation.
Like, am I being murdered?
Because you're definitely nutting. The guy is strangling you or stabbing you.
They said at Gettysburg Field was covered in cum. And Lincoln, there's a ton of like scratched out stuff in the Gettysburg Address.
Yeah.
It's just like,
Where he references
should I? Shouldn't I? No.
407 loads ago? No.
The Gettysburg Address is kept under glass because it's super sticky. Like if anyone touches it, it will stick to their hands like forever.
He was, as he's reading it, he's like, yeah. What's worse? Would you to come on the battlefield or in a hospital bed?
I think, well, it just, again, it depends on, are we surrounded by loved ones, you know? Or is it like...
No,
like
you're found either way by someone from the medical profession.
So I'm alone in either one.
Yeah.
Then I guess it probably doesn't matter.
Wow, you've refused to answer.
I think both would be fine.
Oh, okay.
I'd rather die in a hospital bed, certainly, than be, like, shot to shit.
I don't think that you'll die in a battlefield
trench.
at this point.
Yeah, I don't think, probably not.
Yeah.
Unless things
not
really go south.
Yeah, conventional battlefield.
The fried pickles.
Yeah, the fried
pickles are good.
Here's the thing.
They were great.
It comes with I thought that was actually the standout of this whole thing. And I was like, they could have just added fried pickles and that could have been instead of leaning so hard into the gimmick. Then again, we're probably not doing an episode about it if it's just that. But the fried pickles as a one-off side were, I thought, just like they were so crisp. They were so, especially like them traveling over here. I was like, this is just a really good execution of a classic app. And they have the ranch dipping sauces as default, but they got so many dipping sauces there. I love their blackened ranch. Yeah. And that's what I dipped these bad boys in. And I was just having a ball. They were so much better than I expected.
You know what I wish I had done? I wish I'd put the fried pickles on the sandwich.
Oh, that would have been smart. The fried pickles maybe could have just also been on the sandwich because that would have differentiated it from the regular sandwich just a little bit more.
And then if the glaze doesn't taste enough like pickles,
right.
You're like, oh, I don't know, I'm tasting pickles anyway.
Exactly, yeah.
Here's the thing. The pickle glaze, it's basically just dill flavor, right? I mean, like, that's mostly what you're getting here is like it's maybe a little more.
But it had a little bit of spice to it. It had a small amount of burn and it also had a little bit of sweetness to it. I don't know. It was hard to place exactly.
Okay. All right. Fair enough. I liked the chicken. I liked all the chicken fine. I don't think it's the best sauce in the world, but I did not think it was bad. And I don't think it's chemically, which is huge.
Not
like
chemically. No, not too sciencey.
Yeah. Which is, I think a lot of the times when you get something like this, it is sciencey and not good.
Just maybe. Does anyone want to know how the glaze works chemically? I was thinking about that earlier.
Let's talk about the pickle lemonade. So I'm sure I'll hold this up to camera here. You can see I have about 9/10 of this left. I've had very little of this to sip on. It is, I mean, I'll take another sip of it here. Obviously the ice is melted, so it's changed the composition of it a little bit, but it's so aggressively pickly. in a way where I don't think I could drink a whole one of these unless I was like kind of like I had to for some reason. I mean, it's not terrible, but it's just like you're just drinking sweetened pickle juice.
I will give them credit that it's the most authentic in that it tastes like they just dumped pickle juice into lemonade.
It really does.
And so I give them props for that. And
yeah, they went for it.
I guess if you're really looking for the pickle flavor, that's the one that nails it more than anything else.
For sure, yes.
It's a lot. It is a lot.
I took 3 sips and I was like, what am I doing?
Yeah.
Yeah, it's again, if you were hungover, I think it would be pretty good. It needs to be a little bit more sweet. And I wonder if the frozen one is a little bit more sweet, or maybe it just tastes the same thing but frozen.
It could be. I mean, it's a pretty intense flavor, and the aftertaste really lingers.
Would it work with like alcohol, like a pickleback?
I think it's a pickleback, yeah. But I mean, what we're talking about pickleback. What are you doing? You're basically doing another shot,
a shot
right?
Of whiskey with a shot of pickle juice. But I'm curious if like you made that like a cocktail somehow.
I think they could maybe work. Yeah.
Is there a whiskey lemonade cocktail? Is that called something?
Probably. We used to make dirty Arnold Palmers with like a lemonade and a sweet tea vodka, something like that. So yeah, you could put like maybe like a sweet tea in there.
Emma was a bartender for a long
that.
while.
Oh, nice.
Just like pickle and alcohol tends to go well together, so it feels like sweet pickle chaser.
Did you work at a place in town?
No, back in Boston.
So you know it.
I actually don't know. Where were you?
Mass Ave Tavern, which is now closed. It was like a sports bar on the corner of Mass Ave and Newbury Street.
Okay.
And then the Salty Pig, which is still there. It's on Dartmouth Street, right across from Back Bay Station.
Did you guys see you know how you're talking about new
What are you doing? What are you setting up here?
You're just talking about how like the new like they change the mascots all the time. Do you see the new Hugo the Hornet?
No, I didn't for the Charlotte Hornets.
It's just crazy. They got him jacking off.
Did you just draw that? What did you do?
Did you
just draw a picture of the Charlotte Hornets mascot jacking off?
You think I drew it in the time
Where did you get that?
Rule 34, Charlotte Hornet. It was the thing I meant to do earlier. I forgot to do it, and I wanted to do it, and so I did it.
You want to see every NBA mascot jacking off?
I mean, that is also fun. But look, I'm tired today. All right, what do you want from me?
You're thriving.
Fuck you, I guess.
You're breaking shit. You're gonna cut yourself.
Yeah.
No, it's not sharp. It's actually very.
The edges are sharp.
It's actually sharp. It's actually very not sharp. It's very actually blunt. It's very blunt.
Okay.
Actually, it is kind of sharp.
You can just leave it.
Mitch is, for our audio listeners, Mitch disassembled his microphone arm, and Tim is helping him reinstall it.
I shouldn't have looked up Hugo the Hornet Rule 34.
No, I think that was a good use of our time. I think that the pickle lemonade was. I'd rather have if we're gonna go for this sort of direction, what is a pickle but a pickled cucumber? I'd rather just have like more of a cucumber sort of treatment, and it's true for cocktails too. It's like the sourness of pickle I like in certain contexts. Emma, I do like a pickleback. I've had that before, and I think that is a lot of fun. But like again, a whole pickle cocktail, that to me seems overwhelming. I'd rather be more in Cuketown.
Cuketown, speaking of, this might be controversial, my favorite Gatorade flavor, lime cucumber.
Wow, you'd rather be in Cuketown than Pickletown?
I think so. For a beverage, for a drink?
Yeah.
You like this more than like a cucumber lemonade?
Cucumber is just
you don't like a cucumber cocktail?
I don't like a cucumber cocktail.
Oh wow, interesting.
I don't. Cucumber lemon, cucumber lime, is that what it is? Or
yeah.
That's your favorite?
Yeah, I don't know why.
No, it's a good flavor.
I love it.
I like it.
It's also, that's my hangover helper right there.
Sure. Okay. Yeah. That makes sense. I mean, like, I think pickle also is helpful. But the Gatorade cucumber lime is that's
my go-to. Yeah.
Wow. Okay.
I know.
Deus, did you try the pickle lemonade?
I didn't. I'm kind of scared.
Yeah, you don't have to. No pressure. I like, this is a thing that I'm glad we got it to be comprehensive. And I do, again, in terms of the gimmick, this and the fried pickles are really delivering, whereas I think the chicken items are under delivering. But I don't I think it's particularly pleasant to drink.
I agree. I think it's a swing and a miss. But it's if you're a pickle fanatic, I think that you would like it.
It feels weird to add something salty to what is notoriously a very sweet drink. Like lemonade's super, super sweet usually, so adding salt feels off.
I agree though. If you're a pickle freak, like you'd probably go nuts for that.
Yeah.
I just don't think that's a critical mass of people to justify ever keeping that on. But we're going to have it till June because of the playoffs.
That's true. I wonder if they're going to keep it going through all the playoffs. Because again, it seemed like it was just going to be an April thing, but it had a long tail.
Have they put up ads with like Anthony Edwards like sipping on it and being like, "Get your pickle freak on"? Or,
They should. It's been like a lot of places don't have all the items. It feels like a half campaign. It feels like a lot of people can't get what they're advertising.
But again, we were able to get everything, and I was using the app, and the app just had the sandwich and the pickle lemonade. That was all you could order directly. However, if you went and ordered wings, you could specify the pickle glaze among the wing options. And then, like as you said earlier, if you go into the store, they will sell you the fried pickles at certain locations. So I think it's just like kind of locational dependent.
Can I just tell you something?
Yeah.
The Hugo the Hornet Rule 34 came back with only that one picture.
That's it.
Benny the Bull. There's so many Rule 34 pictures.
I would imagine. Much
Benny
more
the
iconic
Bull.
mascot.
Really? Yeah. Do you want to see this one?
Yeah.
Is he jacking off?
He is jacking off, yes.
Jesus, that's disturbing.
Yeah.
Shooting a little load
Wow,
there.
That's a big load.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Can we see?
That's a rope.
Yeah, can you share the glass?
That's
We probably can't show it on
no,
YouTube.
not on. No, he's shooting like a crazy rope.
Would you be okay? This is a crazy rope.
Is this a different one?
This is a different one. Would you be? You were talking about mascots being remade. Would you be okay if this was the new Benny the Bull?
Okay, so this one is not This Weekend Show. This is PG-13. He's wearing basketball shorts.
You do see some of his pubes.
He's pretty buff. Yeah, I guess we're seeing a little
I
bit
think
of
with the
pubes.
NBA,
But it's fur.
Yeah, it's fur, but it's also like he's clearly trimmed. He's trimmed above and below.
yes, he's left a little. It's like a pube mustache.
Okay, sure.
Which-
Stylized.
It's a stylized.
Is it the same guy as before? And then you could see his hog going down the left leg of his
Oh,
shorts.
is it
Yeah,
the
it's
same
pretty
guy?
substantial.
It's as big as his fucking thighs.
Yeah.
Should I search Jemmy Doughboys Rule 34?
No, Mitch. For the love of God,
What's
no.
wrong with
Like,
you?
no, but I'm terrified if that
Don't
exists.
do
I
that.
have to delete it.
Don't even say that.
What do you mean? Don't even say it. I didn't make it. That if someone makes that because I said it, that's on them. That's not on me.
Will you search Phillies Fanatic? real
Phillies
quick?
fanatic, 100%. I will. See, I think this one right here actually, I think could be, but if they obviously have to shave the pubes and maybe take in the groin a little bit. But I think that this could almost be a mascot.
They could do a hot version of Benny the Bull if they wanted to, but it's also these things are for children, right?
Yeah,
it's
that's a good
it's not.
point.
This isn't for the adult furry community, which is thriving and God bless them. But I mean, like this is that's not the purpose of a sports mascot.
I'd say like this should be for like all the G League mascots should be like this horny.
That's a good idea, honestly. If they pander to furries with the G League specifically,
You beta test them in the G League.
Rule 34, Philly Fanatic. There are hits. I'll say that.
There are hits.
There's just okay. There is one hit. Basically, this is almost like the Charlotte Hornet, Hugo the Hornet.
there've got to be more than this because the Philly Fanatic is well known. I'm sure more people are doing it.
There
Wait,
was-
did you search PHAN?
Yes,
Okay, you did, okay.
Of course I did.
I don't know.
There's this one. It's just the Philly Fanatic has one tit out, basically. There's just the one tit.
I
coming
guess
out.
we're not really sure what the Philly Fanatic's anatomy is, so I guess that's a fair guess.
Yeah.
As to what's going on under there.
I have a feeling this is gonna maybe for a few hours like temporarily ruin my household. So I'm just walking from one room into another and showing Lily another Rule 34 until she tells me to stop.
Okay. There's a second. All right.
Oh yes.
There's a second hit.
Okay.
And I'll just say this: the Philly Fanatic is on a floor, and it looks like I don't know who the mascot is that he's like has his little tongue coming out of his nose is licking the balls of this one guy. But
Got it.
But also the Hamburglar is licking that guy's foot,
Okay.
and then you know who's sucking off the Hamburglar? Bugs Bunny.
Bugs Bunny. Okay.
And then you know who's sucking off Bugs Bunny? Now this is taken over to a couch. Do you know who's sucking off Bugs Bunny?
Well, and so now we've got to really think about because each one is really disconnected to the previous one.
Mhm. Someone's sucking off Bugs Bunny here.
I'm
what
gonna
does
go.
your head say? What does your heart say?
The
My
first thing in my head was SpongeBob.
SpongeBob's pretty good guess.
I was gonna guess Stitch.
Pretty good. I think you should think in the area of Bugs Bunny.
So another Looney Tunes character.
No,
Elmer Fudd.
a classic.
Oh, a classic. Felix
Mickey.
the cat.
That's right, Amelia.
It's
I
just-
knew you'd
it's just
get
Mickey.
it.
Mickey?
Okay.
Mickey is
Oh.
sucking
I've
off
seen enough
bugs.
of this shit to know.
Skid Mark 4.
And guess who's jacking off Mickey?
Goofy.
Close. Kermit, and then
So each one is from a different universe. This is like the crossover of crossovers.
Meanwhile, on the top of the
ultimate orgy.
Meanwhile, on the top of the couch, Pac-Man is getting railed by who?
Pac-Man?
Yeah.
Is it another video game character?
Yes.
Captain America.
Good guess.
But it's another video game character specifically.
Yes.
Okay, so not is it
Link.
Sonic the Hedgehog?
Nope.
Megaman.
Okay.
A
not
big
Mario?
one. It's Mario.
It is Mario, okay.
Mario.
Here it is. You can see that I'm not lying. That is exactly what's happening. In
Yeah,
the
so
photo.
okay. But wait, where's the Philly Fanatic?
The Philly Fanatic's over here in the corner. I don't know who that bug is that he.
Kind of crazy that Philly Fanatic slid into this group.
Yeah, I guess if they're just kind of like, who is the most iconic sports mascot? I can kind of understand sports mascot, food mascot, and then we've got just a bunch of like the cartoon A-listers.
There was also a health thing that said my heart rate was raising. It's kind of just a weird coincidence.
The phone's tracking you, and it's going to be like, here's the one that like made your heart race the most. Like Kermit fucking Mickey.
We got a couple of other, or a handful of other items that are just evergreen. We got the red beans and rice, which is one of my favorite fast food sides. I thought that was great today. The mac and cheese and the mashed potatoes. I don't necessarily love their mashed potatoes. I think they're very functional. I think their mac and cheese was pretty solid today. And then the other LTO they have right now is the strawberry biscuits, which they have periodically, but we've never reviewed them on the podcast. This is a little sweet, a little salty, and then it's got a strawberry bits inside and a creamy icing on top. I mean, I like the strawberry biscuit.
I like it too.
Those yummy.
I think I like just a regular biscuit.
I'd rather have a regular biscuit, but as a sweet treat, it's fun.
Yeah, it was good. And also, like, the icing, not too much. It doesn't cover the whole thing. Just a bit of Dave Matthews icing on there.
Yeah.
I'm going to say this too, by the way. There is Rule 34 NBA, I have found. So there is just like a...
NBA?
Yes, there is.
Like the logo?
Jerry West. But the shadow.
There's like the Milwaukee Buck is like showing its like butt off.
Sure,
and
yeah.
Stuff like that. There's
butt
one
and ball.
And I just realized that there's a little more going on down there. There's just an NBA category. So
I do love that classic Bucks logo. Now they have the Fear the Deer. It's like kind of aggro, but there was a time when it was just a little bit more wholesome. It's fun. Yeah.
Feels very like almost like Jetsons animation style.
Yeah.
There's some good stuff in there.
I almost wore that hat too.
Oh, wow.
It was close to the green. I have a Dallas Mavericks
and
a Milwaukee Bucks one.
Just like everything else. We're in Tomorrowland future, like we were saying recently, of like just a shitty, glossy, there's no flavor. You know what I mean? It's all gone. But there's almost arguably too much flavor in all of these items.
Hey, buddy, Mitch, we're going to be doing our 10th anniversary Doughboys live show in your hometown of Boston, Massachusetts on Saturday, May 17th at the Wilbur. Wow.
Tickets are still available, Wags. Get out and see the 10th anniversary show. We got John Gabers. We got John Hodgman. We got Nick Wagner and Mike Mitchell, but don't worry about that. It's going to be a great time. There's going to be fun surprises. It's going to be a blast.
John squared, Hodgman, Gabris, two of the best around.
Truly.
Two incredible guests, one incredible show, one 10th anniversary night you're not going to want to miss. Tickets at birdfuck.com.
Birdfuck.com. Get your tickets. Wilbur Theater, May 17th, 7 p.m. See you then.
We should get to our final thoughts. So,
Yes.
Tim, you know the podcast before you know this works. We'll each go around and give our closing argument on Popeyes and end by giving it a score from 0 to 5 forks. You can talk about the pickle menu. We can also talk about Popeyes in general. Tim Baltz, our guest, we'll start with you.
I am a big fan of Popeyes.
Yeah.
There was a Popeyes in my hometown growing up, so no stranger to it. I also think the chicken sandwich, kind of revolutionary, set a pretty high bar that other fast food chains have tried to reach.
100%.
Some successful, some not so. So in general, I like it. I like the boneless wings, probably from there about as much as any other fast food place. So I agree with Mitch on that. I'd say the pickle glaze, at least it wasn't chemical. So I support the swing, I guess, because there might be pickle freaks out there. It's like catering to a fetish in a way. So I don't want to downgrade it and shade any fetishists.
Yeah, like if you want to jack off to the Philly fanatic, like there's, that exists for you.
It exists for you.
Yeah,
Yes.
yeah. It seemed like it seemed like those were pictures on Mitch's phone, not the website.
Yeah, that was just his camera roll he was going through.
You're talking to the wrong guy because you have a saved photo album that is very funny.
Wait, I do?
You always will send stuff that you have certain saved photos that you'll send stuff to.
I do have some funny save photos. You're right.
You do. You made me sound like I was lying.
No, you're right. Yeah. I figured out what you're talking about.
So I would like, out of respect for the pickle freaks, I'm gonna give it 3 out of 5 forks.
Wow.
Because it didn't ruin the Popeyes.
Yeah.
It was just a bit mystifying as to why they would do this, and also got to keep it at 3 because it's about the NBA playoffs, and I got to support my league.
What if we're just?
I just want to say, do you remember what your phone background was for a moment? Your lock screen.
It might wait.
Still is.
It still is, I think.
Oh, Ghislaine Maxwell at Mindy Kaling's book party.
I shall not be shamed. I shall not be shamed for the photos in my.
Yeah.
My favorite is when people catch it like over the shoulder and they're like, what is that?
Happened to TSA once.
Yeah, exactly.
I was going to say.
She wrote, and she's doing well, by the way. Ghislaine.
She sent in the female the feedback.
Yeah.
I heard she wrote on Running Point from jail.
Oh, that's wonderful. Wait, 3 out of 5 forks for the pickle glaze. What if you were just going to evaluate Popeyes based off of your like in general? Would you also go 3 out of 5?
No. I'd give Popeyes like. It's hard to think of a fast food chicken place that I'd rank higher.
Yeah.
So I guess I'd go 5 out of 5.
Wow.
Yes.
Okay.
I love Popeyes.
But 3 out of 5 for the pickle menu. Mitch, what do you think?
I think that's a good. I think I go a little higher than you guys. I'd say I liked the chicken sandwich. I wouldn't get it. I think I would just get either the spicy one or the regular one next time. I'm gonna go for the pickle menu 3.5 forks, and for Popeyes itself, I'll still go 5 forks. I like fuck.
You all right?
Yeah, I'm fine. Yeah, no, everything's fine. Why? You think something seems weird?
I like fuck it.
I like fuck it. I like Popeyes. Why? Because a long time ago I said, "Begun the chicken wars have," or whatever. I quoted Yoda.
That's right.
And they are now. The chicken wars are now kind of over. Can we say this now? I mean, like.
Yeah, I mean, like, look, like as Tim was saying.
Once a long pull out of the chicken wars. It was like
once they introduced the Popeyes chicken sandwich. Yeah, Mitch, it was. You're right. You're fair to compare it to the withdrawal from Afghanistan.
It was similar to the. It is
similar historical analog.
It just things weren't going right for a lot of these places that like Burger King and all and
Burger King introduced the Chiking.
Yes.
Jack in the Box, which is now closing a bunch of locations, possibly selling off the Del Taco brand.
Oh my God.
They are
chain rescue.
They had we might do a chain rescue for Jack in the Box. They had their own upscale chicken sandwich. McDonald's has a version of it. Wendy's has had chicken sandwiches as part of their menu for a long time, but they had like a revamped version of it.
Yeah.
It's like everyone was trying to compete for what Popeyes was doing. What Popeyes was doing was trying to iterate upon what Chick-fil-A had established.
Yeah.
And you're right, we've reached the point where that kind of all of those kind of collapsed, and people don't have the curiosity of just trying everyone's version of the Popeyes chicken sandwich simulacrum.
And I would say Popeyes won.
Popeyes won, yeah.
Popeyes,
for sure.
I think we can declare the victor of the chicken wars.
Well, and also
Popeye.
Chick-fil-A is still so ubiquitous. Chick-fil-A is like, I think in terms of per store revenues, like
honestly, they never even really got in the chicken wars. The chicken wars were fought.
I don't know.
I mean, like, look.
I guess I guess Chick-fil-A was in the position where they could kind of sit out the chicken wars.
Yeah.
They were kind of doing their whole thing. They had their established fan base.
Yes, yeah. And Popeyes just always has good quality. Oh God, I just saw the things that we're gonna have in a second. Something that's like so unnatural it catches your eye.
Yeah. I like that you were just looking at a bunch of cartoon porno, and then what we were like, oh God, it was something that we're gonna put into our bodies.
The Popeyes has won the fast food chicken wars. I'll leave Chick-fil-A out of that or whatever. I don't even like Chick-fil-A that much, so I don't care about Chick-fil-A. But they got to try new stuff. They got to get people back in there, and I think I appreciate the attempt, but I don't think that this is anything worthwhile. If you're a pickle freak, you're gonna like it.
Let me close this tab of Colonel Sanders Rule 34. It didn't really pay off.
What, the Colonel Sanders Rule 34?
No, yeah, it wasn't exactly. I mean, you can look for it. It wasn't as.
There a Dave Matthews Band?
Strawberry, everything that's a staple of their menu. I thought all the sides were good. I like those large. We got a large size, but I like the red beans and rice quite a bit. Strawberry biscuits I thought were a lot of fun. Fried pickles were great. Pickle lemonade, not for me, but at least it delivers on the promise of the premise. As far as Popeyes goes,
I kind of like the Colonel Sanders Rule 34.
At large.
Him and the Burger King.
Jeez Louise. They're both ripped.
Yeah. Our buddy that I'm in the hand only club with our guests as far as Popeyes at large. I go 5 forks for Popeyes. I love Popeyes. It's just to me that's one of the best chain restaurants out there, and just as far as fried chicken goes, I mean I don't think you can do any better for a national chain. As far as this particular menu, I'll be in the hand holding club with our friend who joined us for this meal, the Commissioner Evan Susser.
Wow.
I got to watch Susser meet Baltz. What a moment that was.
Well, you never met Sus.
No.
How about that?
It was great.
Yeah.
It was awesome.
Lovely.
Yeah, great guy.
Yeah.
It texted at 4 a.m. last night to say, I'll have the chicken sandwich. You notice that? A 4 a.m. text from Susser. I think he must have woken up in a cold sweat.
Did he wake up thinking about chicken?
There must have been some second sense there, or sixth sense there that something was happening.
It is but anyway, Susser, in terms of evaluating this menu, I think he said a lot of the same stuff that we're saying on this podcast, and he landed at 3.5 forks, and I think that's what the pickle menu approximately deserves. I think it's slightly better than you'd expect, but it doesn't go all the way, and so that's where I think it landed. 3
It
forks.
just is funny when Susser comes and he eats this stuff and then he's mad about it, and it's like, you came to get the free food,
yes,
and then you seem mad at us.
You had a free meal. And then you also were not a part of the show. You just showed up to eat.
Yeah, 100%. And then he's mad. And then he gets mad. And then he's like,
yeah, it's not good.
I didn't like it. And you're like, well, what? Sorry, what the fuck? You cost us an extra $20. Anyway, we love him.
We love him.
Yeah, I think.
Hey, that was a review of Popeye's pickle menu. It's time for a segment. I got a beverage, and we're going to decide if you should pour it down your throat. It's Drank or Stank. And we have these Skittles bottled drinks. Ugh. These were originally released in 2024. We have not had them on the podcast. There are, I believe, 4 flavors. We have 3 of them. There is original. Original might be the one we don't have. Yeah, actually. Yeah, so we have...
I just want to say...
we have tropical. Yeah.
There is no Commissioner Susser Rule 34. I just looked.
We have wild berry.
You wanted to see it?
Yeah, that's your friend. And we have sour. Those are the 3 flavors.
Sour.
Wild berry is purple, kind of a hazy purple. Yeah. This is kind of almost like a gray sort of fog quality to it. And then a very vibrant blue for the tropical and a neon green for the sour.
Wait, there was no red? We never had a red?
Not where we found these ones.
Yeah. And where did you find these?
We found
them in San Francisco when we were going to different convenience stores and grocery stores to find distilled water for Mish's CPAP machine.
This is when we were up there for Sketchfest this year.
Look, this makes it sound like I was bringing you guys on a terrible night.
No, we were having a blast.
We were having a blast. To be fair, we were looking for my distilled water, and then we found the distilled water and these across the street from our hotel, which was very frustrating. We went on an entire
Waymo journey we didn't have to go on, but we had a blast doing it.
And you didn't think to put some of this in your CPAP machine?
Honestly,
would have had wild dreams. It would have been great.
I'm going to propose we start with the tropical because I feel like this is the closest to a neutral. Oh my God, 31 grams of sugar, 62% of your daily allocation in one of these.
Amelia got you guys cups, and then we got a dump cup in case you don't end up wanting to drink everything you pour in your cup.
I'm just going to pour myself a little bit. I'll let everyone handle their own
I'm going to pour the dump cup off the Chicago River when we're done.
I wonder what color it'll make if you mix all 3 of those
in
one cup.
That's a great question.
Whoa.
This is very much like barber fluid for our audio listeners, like that color.
Yeah, it looks kind of like what I put in my car to wash my windshield.
It is like wiper fluid.
This is a little kid's dream. I'll say that much. This is like a...
Boy, I don't know about this.
This tastes like medicine.
Yeah.
Medicine. Interesting.
Yeah. This straight up tastes like something you'd take if you had a cough as a kid.
Baltz,
think
where
it's
do you
actually
stand on
making me feel pretty good. I've been getting over a sinus infection.
where do you stand on Skittles in general?
I used to love them.
Yeah, I liked them as a kid a lot.
I love them. Like no bad color. That's what I got excited about with Skittles. Obviously, I'd separate them all because
Yeah, of course.
I was like that.
Yeah.
I was nice with it. But yeah, I loved them. I was always worried. I've never had a cavity. I was always worried they would give me cavities. So I think I moved away from them the older I got.
Sure.
Yeah.
But,
Yeah, they're a cavity treat. I feel like that. I do think you take the Skittles. The aftertaste tastes like Skittles a little bit to me.
You taste the rainbow a little bit.
Yeah.
I think that it is very medicine-y, though. Like, that's definitely what the kind of the quality I got from it. I'm going to pour some of the sour. This is kind of like an ecto-cooler quality for our audio listeners in terms of color.
sour. This one scares me.
Sour.
Yeah, I don't know if I want a sour beverage.
Just.
Ooh.
I'm also old enough to remember when there was just one kind of Skittle. And they were just like, hey, you know what? We're doing a
Wait,
bunch of different
what?
Skittles. There was just one kind. No, there was just the red Skittles.
Oh, I thought you meant like you were old enough that it was all yellow
Yeah.
Skittles. And I was like, Jesus Christ. How old is this
really,
fucking guy?
really funny old man candy, just lemon Skittles. Yeah, they just had the red ones for a long time. They just had the regular Skittles, the default bag.
This one sucks.
You hate this one?
Yeah.
I like this one.
Oh my God.
This to me is better than the blue.
Really?
Yeah,
I'm not dumping this. I like it.
I'm trying to think of what this reminds me of exactly.
The first taste of this one tastes so weird, and then it does. The aftertaste isn't bad.
It's kind of citrusy.
Yeah, what's the sour? Is it sour like sour candy or sour like lemon sour?
Oh my God.
It's
No,
not
not
sour.
lemon sour.
It's not super sour. Yeah, I don't know. It kind of reminds me of like a tangerine juice almost.
You're mixing them?
I want to see what the end result is, what it looks like, and it does look kind of crazy right now, actually.
Yeah, it's very tropical blue kind of.
Yeah.
Wait, does
cool.
Deus want to taste any of these?
I'm okay.
Okay.
The colors are so unnatural.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't know why I like that.
It is. This is like when you're getting a colonoscopy. This is like the type of stuff you drink to like see inside your body, basically.
Colors. Yeah.
Color-wise, for sure.
Mitch, me and I've said this on the podcast before. Me and our buddy Denny Jelinek, a great director, past Doughboys guest,
Great guy.
have made a couple Skittles ads years ago. And the thing I learned from the Skittles internal documents is because they're so as we're pouring this cloudy
Oh, this
purple,
one is not good.
This is fucking nasty.
cloudy
Oh,
purple
it's
wild berry right now.
disgusting.
The thing I learned from their internal Skittles branding documents, because these brands are so like strict about, there's no such thing as a Skittle. Skittles is the brand. There's an individual Skittles candy, but the terminology they use is Skittles lentil.
Yes, he
So
loves
each individual Skittles piece is called a Skittles lentil, according to their company.
Wow.
It looks nice. This looks nice. But I'm gonna pour the purple.
What the
into it.
fuck is this supposed to taste
It's
like?
bad.
This is
Berry?
fucking awful.
Is that the wild berry one?
Yeah, did this go bad?
Maybe it went
Maybe.
bad.
Is there an expiration
It
date on
smells
it?
like shit. It smells like an old dusty closet.
It does taste like dust.
Yeah.
Ew.
Like the color it has, right?
It actually looks like dust.
It
It
looks
looks
like-
like a dusty water.
Yeah, it looks like dirty like dishwashing,
Yeah.
soap. Like so you wash your dishes in this.
Looks like a sample.
Oh, wild berry. Wait, what did you say?
Looks like a sample.
Is there an expiration date on that bottle, man?
Yes, and it's rubbed out,
Oh, good.
and it
Great.
says, but it is 25, so it
Okay.
is this year.
Okay.
There are two more
They're
expiration
probably
dates on the
similar.
on the bottle.
They might be also rubbed out.
This is one of the worst things I've had for the show this year. This is really bad. Yeah.
This,
I fucking hate this.
by the way, this was April 2025.
Okay, so we're
so we're
We have one
barely
day
in the
left.
clear, I guess.
Yeah. So maybe that purple one is a little older.
I'll
Maybe
be
it is
honest with
bad.
you,
Yeah,
the mixed one tastes good.
I was wondering.
You want to try it?
I'll do it.
It was almost the color
Or you know
of
what?
your shirt,
Just
actually,
mix
now.
salt
Yeah,
through
it is.
in
The
your-
green
in
blue.
your drink.
Why can't I have yours?
You can have
Because I
mine.
think it seems like you have the purple.
I'm
you have
getting
the golden-
over. I've been on antibiotics for 72 hours.
You
so
had
you're
you
fine.
had the golden ratio. It seems like you hit on. So
Yeah.
let's see how this works out. That ain't bad.
I'm telling you, you should do a mix just to see what you think.
But I think this might also be the unique alchemy that you stumbled upon by having like 2 parts blue, 1 part purple, and like 1.5 parts green. I don't think you intentionally created this. I guess
Yeah.
you could try to match the color. I think that's pretty.
It's pretty close.
Pretty close.
Pretty close.
Tim is taking a sip.
It's literally the same color as Tim's shirt, the stripes.
Wow, it is.
Yeah, that's the best flavor.
Yeah.
Mix them all together.
It's the best flavor. I think, you know why? Because it tastes, when you eat Skittles, a lot of people, you just eat them all at once.
Yeah.
I know that.
Wow, Mitch. This is a great insight.
And
what
maybe that's what it
observation.
is. You're getting the Skittles
Totally
experience.
I think that's exactly it. I would give the green a mild drink. I'd give the other two stanks, hard stank to the wild berry. But the mix, I think, is a solid drink.
I give a big old drink to the green one.
Yeah, green one's good.
I think huge stank to the purple. Blue is like a light drink. Blue and green are a light drink, but I like the blue more than the green. But they're both barely in a drink. I honestly, they should be stanks. They suck.
They're bad.
They're bad.
They're bad, but good job crafting that cocktail. Hey, just like a restaurant about your feedback, let's open to the feedback. Today's email is from Kyle. Kyle writes, Mitch mentioned on a recent episode that he was treated at Boston Children's Hospital as a child.
Right. Mm-hmm.
I work at said hospital. Wow, thank you for your service. And I'm often listening to podcasts at my desk, with this show being a recent addition. I thought Mitch would be glad to know that we have a Regina Pizzeria in the cafeteria, and the 2-slice combo is the best lunch value available.
Wow.
As someone not originally from Boston, I was delighted to find Regina's as a good by-the-slice option and quickly deemed it, quote, Sbarro if it didn't suck shit. My question for the group.
I like that.
When you are watching cartoons, what cartoon food looks the tastiest? I can't decide between the gooey cheese stretch when a Ninja Turtle pulls a slice off, or the towering deli sandwich that Shaggy unhinges his jaw to eat in one bite. Thanks for the laughs and new fans becoming one of my new favorite shows. Your Beantown buddy, Kyle. Favorite cartoon food?
Thank you for your service, Kyle. That's Boston Children's Hospital. Great hospital.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Also, there's Regina's are the quality of place to place. It can be up and down. So
yeah.
Don't the Ninja Turtles put like weird shit on the pizza too?
They do, but there are times when they're just like stretching the pizza. I get exactly what the image they're talking about, and it's got like it's like a super cheesy pizza, and it does look like a very toothsome slice. I always think about.
Little did he know that we would be really looking at cartoons today.
It's true.
Rule 34 Ninja Turtles.
There's going to be a lot of Rule 34 Ninja Turtles, I'll take a look.
Did you ever see the animated this weird like Harvard project from like 2004? The animated Ninja Turtles porno?
No.
Oh my God.
It was
insane. A Harvard project?
Well, I didn't know that. Like some friend, when I was touring in Second City, some friend had it on their phone and they showed it and we're like, what the fuck is this? Like, what did I just watch? Like, this is awful. It's crazy. And at the end, like Krang is sucking off Donatello.
Okay,
or something like
sure.
that. It's kind of nuts.
Yeah.
And then this guy like is jerking off. It turns out it's all a video, and that newsman, April's like camera guy, is like jerking off, and then he shoots his load on himself, but it's radioactive, and he turns into a big penis with a hand where his cock was.
Oh, okay, right.
Sure. Have you heard of this?
I have seen this.
And then a couple years ago, I'm haunted by this, and it comes up in conversation. I go try to find it, and instead of finding it, I find an article from like the Harvard Crimson or whatever describing the project that this guy did in class, and just like veered off into left field and made this porno, and his professor was like, okay, A. 'Cause, everyone at Harvard just gets A's.
Yeah, sure.
A. So I actually know the origin about it.
Yeah.
It's insane.
And that's like the guy who invented Uber.
Yeah. Probably.
Yeah.
There's a lot of Ninja Turtle. There's a lot of women in the Ninja Turtle world that I don't know.
That's one of the things with the Rule 34. It sometimes skews towards the male gaze, and all of a sudden it's like, well, this, whatever. I'm looking for Ninja Turtle porno. I'm not looking for April O'Neil porno, but that's what the fan base tends to glom onto that.
Let me tell you this.
Not Benny the Bull. That's for the end. I don't know, androgynous gaze.
Yeah, sure.
Anyone's gaze.
The very jacked April O'Neil here.
Okay.
Yeah.
Now we're talking.
Yeah. There's also a very
It's too jacked. Why they made her head so small?
Her head should have gotten the same size of her body.
Fuck.
There's also an anatomically correct Ninja Turtle penis. I don't want to show this to the camera.
Yeah, so that's the whole thing. That's one of those.
I'll learn everything you showed on this.
The reptilian, anatomy doesn't quite resemble human anatomy 1-to-1. So if you're gonna, if you see a realistic depiction of it, it can look a little unnerving.
A lot of good stuff in there. Though.
Yeah. A lot of good stuff in there.
Best cartoon food.
Look, the Big Deli sandwich did make me think of. I know this is not a cartoon, but this is a comic strip. Not that I'm too, like Dagwood and Blondie were not really my generation, but that was a comic strip that was in the zeitgeist that I was aware of, and I knew that Dagwood would make a big, tall sandwich, and I always wanted to have one of those impossibly tall sandwiches. They always look good as shit. So that's where my mind goes to. But as the other thing this makes me think of is we were talking about video games earlier, and certainly not Megaman where you get, you have like power capsules that restore your health. But like adjacent franchises like Konami's Castlevania, you would find a wall chicken or a floor chicken. It would just be like a whole rotisserie bird, and it would reinstate your health bar. Those always looked really good to me, and that was always like, oh, I want to just find like a big big hunk of meat in a barrel, and then I have more energy to go about my day. I
like this. I have an answer.
Yeah,
cheesy poofs. Cartman can't be wrong.
Yeah, those cheesy poofs, they are pretty good.
I bet you they're really good. Yeah. Cartman's like, I feel like Cartman has similar tastes to me.
Yeah.
So I think cheesy poofs would be really good.
Man, I can't think of a single thing outside of Chippendale Rescue Rangers for some reason. I don't know why. I'm just thinking of like the big cheese that big mouse always eats.
Oh yeah.
Or the acorns.
I got some stuff here. The extra gooey pizza. They said the Ninja Turtles pizza, but they also showed the pizza from the Goofy movie. A Goofy movie. That's
sure.
I always thought animated eggs, like fried eggs, always like animated breakfast, always looks really appealing for some reason. Like a good sunny side up egg or something. It always looks really pretty.
How about that feast in that Studio Ghibli movie where they turned to pigs?
Yeah, that I was gonna say is like when we're talking about cartoons, we're all talking about like Western cartoons, but certainly if you open up to anime, there's such gorgeously drawn anime food, and all the Ghibli movies. You're thinking of Spirited Away.
Spirited Away
has some really good looking food, but there was some good looking food in Boy and the Heron too. I mean, like a lot of these movies have some good looking.
Would you like
bites.
to try the ratatouille from Ratatouille?
Yeah, I guess I would. Yeah, I don't know.
I guess it's made by a mouse. Does that bother you? I mean, this is the whole question of the movie.
It looks really good, and that was one where it was the French Laundry chef who helped design that dish, right?
Oh, yeah. Right.
Huh. You know what I would go for, just because it's kind of comfort food, would be the marmalade sandwich from Paddington.
Oh,
wow,
yeah,
that's
sure.
Good. That's good.
Really good.
Also, Garfield's lasagna.
That's pretty good. We of
I
course
haven't been to the French Laundry since I went with Gavin during the pandemic.
We of course had the
Gavin DeGraw.
Me and Gavin Newsom went during the pandemic to French Laundry.
Governor.
Yeah,
unbelievable.
There was they did have the Wendy's Krabby Patty, and that was like kind of disappointing. It did not really deliver in terms of what you want from like the SpongeBob Krabby Patty, but it did make me think of the. A classic cartoon, but the big ass ribs that you get from the Flintstones. Remember that big ass rib, and they tip the car over.
Car over.
Yeah.
Oh, actually, there's this French cartoon called Astérix. I don't know if you know it at all. And they are always like hunting boar.
Okay.
And then they would have these huge feasts where they would like spit roast the boar over an open flame. Like, oh man, it always looks so good.
That sounds good.
And the characters are always like, they're like drooling over it, and one of them's obsessed with it. And as a kid, I was always like, damn, that looks really good. Can we have boar? And my mom would be like, no, it's not a thing. It's a cartoon.
I remember when you were on previously, you talked about it was living in France, right? When you were in college?
Yeah, I did a semester abroad there, and I played college basketball.
Right.
Yeah, which was
cool as hell.
Which was crazy. It was nuts, and my hair was down to here.
Wow.
That's cool.
It was really. I just I did Beck Bennett and Kyle Mooney's podcast, and it ended up being like mostly about that, which was fun. I never really talk about it, and it was just a wild 6 months of my life where I was there and completely immersed. I went to this poli-sci school instead of going to like an American university. I was like, fuck it, I want to be really challenged.
Yeah, sure.
Get my ass kicked, and it was so hard, but it was fascinating because you're learning poli-sci from like a completely different perspective.
Yeah,
and then just going and like playing basketball with a bunch of like sweaty dudes that have never heard of deodorant. It's intense.
That's like going to a Doughboy show. I have two last fruits, if you could believe it. One of those Yoshi apples.
Yeah, sure.
I thought of that earlier when you were talking about Weiger's jaw opening like a snake and eating the apple, and I was mouthing Yoshi. But I hadn't been introduced yet, so I couldn't talk about it. But Yoshi really chomps that apple.
Yeah, he really does.
Those big shiny apples that he's got. I would love to try one of those. And I wouldn't try to take one from him, but a DK banana, he's got good bananas.
Fuck. Yeah.
Donkey Kong's got good fucking bananas.
That banana hoard he's got.
Yeah.
Big stash.
And he could give me one. He has got a ton of them.
Yeah.
What the well, come on.
Yeah, I mean, then we're back in video game town. But I mean, like again, I get.
Do you think I would be an ape from a fucking other tribe or some shit? Small dick ape, whatever the fuck you guys said earlier.
This banana's bigger than your dick.
That's normal, Donkey Kong. Bananas are huge.
Oh, that's a plantain.
I think the Donkey Kong sounds like Jerry Seinfeld. Hey, that's a plantain.
What is the deal with Mitch's dick? He's Donkey Kong, but it looks like a plantain. It's so small. You peel it off. There's barely any fruit inside.
What's going on at these college campuses? If you have a question or comment about the world of chain restaurants, you can email us at feedbag@birdfuck.com or leave us a voicemail at 830-GODO. That's 830-463-6844. Our producer is Emma Erdbrink. Our associate producer is Amelia Marino. Our supervising video producer is Casey Donahue. And our video editor is Mike Dorfman. And hey, Doughboys apparel and merchandise is available in partnership with Kinship Goods at kinshipgoods.com/Doughboys. You can also get the Doughboys Double, our weekly bonus episode, plus our entire pre-2018 back catalog over at patreon.com/Doughboys. And reminder, we are currently doing Mission Impossible, which is a month-long revisit of all of the Mission Impossible films in the run-up to the Final Reckoning. So check that out over at our Patreon, patreon.com/Doughboys.
We may have someone wearing that shirt as a very guest.
This exact shirt, which we watched Mission Impossible 7 together 2 nights ago. Yeah, 2 nights ago.
I love it.
It was great.
Yeah.
I know you already covered it, so I can't spoil it.
I think that, we won't spoil it either, but we came in. I did not love it the first time I watched it, and you'll have to watch the episode to see what you thought.
Check it out to see our current assessment. Tim Baltz, such a treat to have you. What would you like to plug? Thank you so much for being here.
Well, let's see. I think the last ever episode of Gemstones will come out. This comes out Monday, right?
Next Thursday, so it will have just come out.
Oh yeah, so it's like the last episode of Gemstones ever comes out. Stream all 4 seasons on Max.
Congratulations on
Congrats.
that.
Yeah, that's so cool.
Yeah, it's crazy it took like 7 years to make 4 seasons, but it's weird. It's weird to be on the other side of it, in a good way, bittersweet. And then Deli Boys is streaming on Hulu, the whole first season, which is fantastic. Stars some amazing people. And created by Abdullah Saeed, and Hey Randy podcast on CPB World Patreon, which we have a blast doing. Yeah. Mitch did the live show.
That's right.
The audio version of that will come out, I don't know, months from now.
Yeah. And we talk about that a little on the.
Oh, you did?
Yeah,
okay, good. So that's paywalled too, right?
Yeah.
Good. All right, no spoilers.
I want to do a quick shout out, Wags. Is that okay?
Sure.
I just want to give a shout out to one of our listeners, Brendan Mullen, who lives all the way down in South Africa, and he's had a tough month, and said the podcast has been very helpful for him during that time. So
that's
I just
nice.
want to say, hey buddy, send some love and thank you for listening. Down under.
South Africa.
Put another shrimp on the Barbie.
The home of Dave Matthews.
Oh, that's true.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Right.
Watch out for that. Watch out for the big trio. Shit, piss, and cum. The shit, piss, and cum trio.
Of course, yes, right. You never know when you might encounter those 3.
He's having a hard month.
Yeah.
You make South Africa sound like Australia, and then you tell him he's going to get shit, pissed, and cum done?
He won't. That won't happen. He's a good buddy of my friend Colin, who's my neighbor back in Quincy. I love Colin. Any friend of Colin is a friend of mine. So thank you for listening. I hope you're doing all right.
Hey, there you go. That'll do it for this episode of Doughboys. Until next time, for the Spoon Man, Mike Mitchell, I'm Tiger Warrior. Happy eating.
See ya.
That was a Headgum podcast.